Chapter 2974. Book 1, Chapter 414, Chaos. After flying away from that place, Zhao Fu found a place to stabilize his body's power. Bang, bang, bang. Massive explosions sounded out as massive shock waves spread out like wild gales, causing the heavens and earth to dim and startling all creatures in the surroundings. Zhao Fu slightly frowned as he asked, "What's going on?" Following the shock waves, Zhao Fu encountered two groups of people. One group of people was dressed in violet robes and looked noble and mysterious. The other group of people looked quite strange. Some had insect eyes, some had insect horns, and some had insect shells. The two groups of people each stood on one side, and there were two young men sparring in the middle. One young man was dressed in violet robes and had long black hair. He was extremely handsome and gave off a powerful and noble aura, making him seem like a noble. The other young man was dressed in gray robes and gave off a devilish aura, and he gave off an ancient and ferocious aura. In actuality, the two of them were not fighting, and they stood on either side. One of them gave off violet energy, forming a massive giant, while the other gave off gray light. The ancient and ferocious energy formed a beetle with 9 pairs of insect eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. The massive shock waves were caused by the intense battle between the two of them in the sky. Bang! The violet giant's fist slammed against the beetle's body with immense power, sending the beetle flying back. It also brought with it an intense gust of wind, causing boulders to roll and trees to sway. SSSSS. The massive beetle angrily gave off a massive hiss, causing a massive sound wave to spread out and forcing the violet giant back a few steps. The two of them seemed to be about the same in terms of power. Zhao Fu paid some attention to the violet-clothed young man because the aura he gave off was quite familiar. Zhao Fu had never seen this person before, and the aura he gave off was that of the ancient spirit race. The ancient spirit race was a race that had been born after the destruction of the Bronze Shard historical remnant. Last time, Zhao Fu had snuck into their mystic realm and obtained a few bronze shards. Zhao Fu had never thought that he would meet someone from the ancient spirit race here, and the aura he gave off was so powerful. He had heard from the ancient spirit race that they had a shocking genius called Ling Xian who had been taken as a disciple by a half-step celestial. This person was most likely that Ling Xian. Zhao Fu did not recognize the other person, but he felt that his identity was quite terrifying. The two of them had wanted to control the beetles to continue fighting with the giant, but they sensed something and looked at Zhao Fu. Even though they did not sense any power from Zhao Fu, their instincts told them that this person was incredibly dangerous. Seeing that the two of them had stopped, the others felt quite surprised and followed their gazes to find Zhao Fu. Facing everyone's gazes, Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Everyone, don't mind." Ling Xian dispelled his power, and the violet giant dissipated into aura. He looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Who are you, sir?" Could it be that he also had source energy? He did not know that Zhao Fu had pure source energy. His weakened source energy definitely could not compare to Zhao Fu's. The key thing was that Zhao Fu had many bronze shards within his body, causing Ling Xian's source energy to feel even more pressure. Ling Xian did not know that Zhao Fu had pure source energy. His weakened source energy definitely could not compare to Zhao Fu's. The key thing was that Zhao Fu had many bronze shards within his body, causing Ling Xian's source energy to feel even more pressure. The other person, a young man, did not look too good. His name was Chong Tian, and he had the bloodline of the insect ancestor. The insect ancestor was one of the primal chaos world's primogenitor insects, so he had terrifying power. However, he felt a trace of fear in his bloodline. Zhao Fu's evil immortal bloodline had devoured more than 1,000,000 bloodlines, and most of them were insect bloodlines. Even though Chong Tian had the primogenitor insect bloodline, facing Zhao Fu's crazily twisted evil immortal bloodline, he still felt fear. The others looked at Zhao Fu curiously. They did not know what Zhao Fu was to be able to make these two geniuses stop. Zhao Fu smiled and said, I am not anyone. I just passed by this place and felt some energy ripples, so I came to take a look. Chong Tian asked him politely, What bloodline do you have? Zhao Fu smiled and said, Why should I tell you? A young man with an insect horn said coldly. Do you know who he is? He is the young master of the heavenly armor ancestor insect and the heir of our insect valley. Zhao Fu smiled and said, I don't care much about these things, so I don't know about Insect Valley and the heavenly armor ancestor insect. The young man with an insect horn was so angry that he wanted to say something. Chong Tian interrupted him and said, It is okay if you don't know what Insect Valley is, but tell me what your bloodline is. Why would my bloodline be afraid? Everyone looked at Zhao Fu in shock. Zhao Fu. They knew how terrifying Chong Tian's bloodline was. Although he didn't inherit the primogenitor insect's source bloodline, he was still a saint-grade bloodline and could be called a saint's son. Emperor-grade bloodlines were much lower in front of him, and they were extremely rare in the primal chaos world. Such a terrifying bloodline was actually afraid? Then, what was the bloodline of this young man? How could someone with a saint-grade bloodline be afraid? Zhao Fu smiled and said, My bloodline is just that of a normal person. A cold intent appeared in Chong Tian's eyes. I don't want to hear people lie to me. Who are you? What bloodline do you have? Otherwise, I will personally take a look. A team beside Ling Xian asked curiously, Senior brother, do you know who he is? Why does Chong Tian care so much about him? Ling Xian shook his head. I don't know. His body also gives off a power that suppresses me. I'm also curious about who he is. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. A pretty girl said, Senior brother, don't you have source power? How can it suppress you? Ling Xian nodded. Everyone's gazes towards Zhao Fu became solemn. Although they didn't know what his identity was, they were sure that he wasn't weaker than their senior brother. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given off such power. Zhao Fu smiled and said, I'm really just a passerby. You don't have to mind me. Chong Tian's figure instantly disappeared as his claw ferociously swiped towards Zhao Fu with immense power. In an instant, Zhao Fu's figure was torn apart, and Zhao Fu slammed into the ground. A muffled sound rang out as a 10-meter-wide crater appeared in the ground. Everyone was confused. This person had been dealt with so quickly? However, Chong Tian frowned and looked to the side. He saw that Zhao Fu's figure had reappeared. What he had attacked was just an afterimage. After dodging his attack so easily, Chong Tian was clear about Zhao Fu's strength and did not casually attack again. Zhao Fu lightly smiled and said, If my bloodline hadn't reached the final stage, I would have been very interested in your bloodline. Now, however, I don't have much interest. Something flashed in Chong Tian's mind as his expression became serious, and he said solemnly, You're that evil immortal. Chapter 2975, Volume 1, Chapter 415. Death Now. Chong Tian remembered why he, who had the primogenitor insect bloodline, would feel fear. Moreover, it was not just fear, but also a trace of disgust. It was the evil immortal bloodline, which countered the insect bloodline. Only the evil immortal bloodline could make him feel this way. Hearing this, everyone's expressions fell. The evil immortal's abnormal signs had just stopped, and they had never thought that they would encounter it so soon. Ling Xian revealed an understanding look. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, that's right. I'm the evil immortal. Hearing Zhao Fu admit it, everyone could not help but feel even more afraid because they had heard how monstrous the evil immortal was. Chong Tian said coldly, Since you're the evil immortal, I can't let you leave. Zhao Fu did not mind as he said, If I want to leave, you won't be able to stop me. Chong Tian coldly laughed as he said, Is that so? You can give it a try. Zhao Fu lightly smiled as he said, I'll be leaving then. I'm sure we'll meet again in the future. Boom! Chong Tian immediately acted, and a massive wave of power rippled out. His eyes became compound eyes and shot out countless rays of light. Each ray of light was like a circular space that shot toward Zhao Fu, causing the space around Zhao Fu to become complicated. This move was called Thousand Bug Void, and it was one of Chong Tian's primogenitor insect bloodline's abilities. Chong Tian did not tell Zhao Fu to give it a try for no reason. He had the confidence to say such a thing. He had trapped many people with this move before. Zhao Fu stood where he was and seemed to be surrounded by a gray, circular space. There were many other circular spaces around him, and even if Zhao Fu immediately destroyed one of them, the other spaces would surge over and trap Zhao Fu. Chong Tian looked at Zhao Fu within the gray space and smiled as he said, "You can try to escape now." Before Thousand Bug Void had been used, Zhao Fu would have had a slight chance of escaping. However, now that he had used it, it would not be easy for him to escape. Chong Tian was confident in this. Zhao Fu glanced at Chong Tian before his body turned into countless rainbow-colored energy and dissipated. Chong Tian's expression changed. He tried to sense Zhao Fu and realized that Zhao Fu had really disappeared. How is that possible? The others also looked at the empty space in shock. It felt too easy, as if there was no difficulty at all. Chong Tian's face was filled with anger, and his heart grew heavier. This inheritor of the evil immortal was truly terrifying and was definitely the strongest opponent he had ever met. Ling Xian's expression was also solemn. If he had been trapped by the thousand-bug space, he would definitely not have escaped so easily. After a while, Chong Tian said coldly, "Let's go back." The people from Insect Valley knew that Chong Tian was unhappy and didn't want to anger him. They didn't dare to say anything and followed Chong Tian to leave. He watched as Chong Tian and the others left. The purple-clothed girl was a little disappointed. Originally, I wanted to see who would be stronger between Chong Tian and senior brother. Ling Xian's expression softened. We just exchanged a few simple moves. We won't go all out because there's no need. Oh, the young girl replied. Ling Xian and Chong Tian were famous geniuses in the chaotic world, so it was impossible for them to go all out right away. The purple-clothed teen asked, "Senior brother, what should we do? Do we need to report that we met the evil immortal?" The elders in the sect all pay attention to the evil immortal. A girl said, "There is very little news regarding the evil immortal, and no one has ever heard of what kind of person he is. This time, we personally met him, so this intel is really important." Ling Xian said, "All of you, report this matter truthfully." Everyone nodded their heads. The purple-clothed teen said, "This evil immortal bloodline just reached the final stage, and he appeared in our Eastern Alliance. I think that the evil immortal definitely has a goal." The purple-clothed girl said solemnly, "That is for sure. Our Eastern Alliance and the first-generation evil immortal had a huge grudge. This generation evil immortal is definitely here to take revenge. I think that all the experts didn't expect that the evil immortal would come to the Eastern Alliance so quickly." The purple-clothed girl said curiously, "Is he really as terrifying as the rumors say? He doesn't seem too bad. He doesn't seem that crazy or evil." A serious-looking teen reminded her, "He's the evil immortal. You see that he seems easy to get along with, but by the time you realized how terrifying he is, it was already too late. Think about what the evil immortal did back then, and you'll understand. But in the end, it was too late." "I know," the young girl muttered. Ling Xian said softly, "From today onwards, the Eastern Alliance will face a calamity. No one knows what will happen in the future. Let's go back." Everyone nodded, but they still felt a bit worried. The news quickly spread, and the entire Eastern Alliance was shaken. They had thought that the evil immortal would hide somewhere and cultivate, only appearing after reaching the higher being realm. That would be the start of the calamity for the Eastern Alliance. However, they never thought that the evil immortal would appear in the Eastern Alliance so quickly, bringing forward the calamity for the Eastern Alliance by so much. The many experts of the Eastern Alliance who had gone out also hurriedly returned, and they switched from attacking to defending. Some of the more ancient factions ordered their people to keep a low profile in the future, and they also made preparations for the evil immortal to cause all sorts of things. Some of the more established factions did not pay much attention to this matter, as the evil immortal was not as terrifying as the rumors said. In the past, the evil immortal had caused a calamity and they did not believe that the new evil immortal would be able to do so in a short period of time. Some even said that they would kill the evil immortal to help get rid of this scourge. After hearing about this, some people gloated and wanted to see the evil immortal take revenge. Some people waited to see how things would develop, and some people came to the Eastern Alliance. At that moment, the Eastern Alliance became quite lively. Zhao Fu did not know about these things, and he stood on a mountainous region, looking at a monster in front of him with a strange expression. This monster was the stone monster that had come to life. After continuously chasing, it had finally caught up to the person it wanted to see. It was now crawling on the ground, looking at Zhao Fu affectionately. Even though it did not know what Zhao Fu was, it was clear that this person had given it life. Zhao Fu recognized that this was the massive stone that he had been sitting on, and he had never thought that it would also have life. However, Zhao Fu did not plan on taking it in and said, "Don't follow me. Go do whatever you want." The stone monster seemed to understand Zhao Fu's words, and it looked at Zhao Fu with a disappointed and pitiful expression. Zhao Fu said, "I have no intention of giving you life. This is your own fortune, so you don't need to thank me. I have many things to take care of in the Eastern Alliance, and there might be many dangers. If you follow me, you'll be in deep danger, so don't follow me." The stone monster looked at Zhao Fu with its square eyes and lightly nodded. Zhao Fu looked at it before disappearing and hiding his power so that the stone monster could not sense him. Chapter 2976. Book 1, Chapter 416. Return. Seeing Zhao Fu leave, the stone monster lay on the ground in disappointment. It did not know what to do or where to go, and the person who had given it life did not want it. An hour or so later, a lively little girl with 2 braids and a beautiful middle-aged woman arrived. They had just been passing by, but they found that this large stone monster was quite strange. "Mother, what is it?" the little girl asked curiously as she looked at the stone monster with wide eyes. The beautiful middle-aged woman was quite surprised. This was the first time she had seen a creature like the stone monster. It was not a spirit or a monster, but it seemed to be alive. The stone monster looked at the mother and daughter curiously with one of its square-shaped eyes. The little girl walked towards the stone monster, and the beautiful middle-aged woman saw that the stone monster did not intend to harm anyone, so she did not stop the little girl. The little girl walked in front of the stone monster and asked in a childish voice, "What's your name?" The stone monster looked at the little girl in confusion. The little girl smiled and asked, "Can I touch you?" The stone monster lay there and did not reply to the little girl. The little girl mustered up her courage and stretched out her hand to touch the stone monster, while the stone monster stared at the little girl in front of it. The little girl said happily, "I feel that you're quite special. Can we be friends?" The rock monster seemed to have understood, and it nodded with a joyful expression. The little girl smiled and asked, "What about your family?" Thinking about Zhao Fu, who had abandoned it, the stone monster felt quite disappointed. Looking at the stone monster's pitiful appearance, the little girl asked, "Do you want to come to my house? We can play together every day." The stone monster happily nodded. The little girl looked at the beautiful middle-aged woman and asked, "Mother, can we take it back?" The beautiful middle-aged woman walked in front of the stone monster and smiled as she said, "It's fine to take it back, but I want to see what is." The beautiful middle-aged woman placed a hand on the stone monster, and a wave of energy spread out, entering the stone monster's body. The beautiful middle-aged woman's expression fell as her face became blood red, and a terrifying energy bounced back. The beautiful woman's hand was knocked away, and she looked at the stone monster in shock. She had never thought that this stone monster would have such terrifying power. Moreover, this stone monster was not a creature that was born from the heavens and earth. It had been created by a terrifying expert. The beautiful woman did not know who the person who had created such a terrifying creature was, but he was definitely incredibly powerful. Out of all the experts she knew, none of them had such terrifying abilities. The stone monster had such power, and the beautiful woman did not want her daughter to take it back. However, it seemed that the stone monster did not have a master, and if it was raised, its power would not be underestimated, and it could become the most powerful person to protect her daughter. The little girl looked at the beautiful woman with hope and begged, "Mother, can you take him back? Look at how pitiful he is." The beautiful woman smiled as she said, "All right, bring it back." The little girl jumped up in joy. "That's great, Mother." The stone monster stood up happily. It had a new master. Following this, the beautiful woman brought the stone monster back, and the little girl rode the stone monster everywhere to play. Countless people were amazed. This was the first time they had seen a creature like the stone monster. Zhao Fu also came to the Eastern Alliance's headquarters. According to the information he had received, one of the Alliance Masters of the Eastern Alliance might have obtained the Bronze Shard. It was possible to obtain the Bronze Shard here, but they could not be sure if he had it. Moreover, this Alliance Master had not revealed any information, making it difficult for Zhao Fu to determine if he had it. How could he be sure that the Alliance Master had it? Apart from the Alliance Master, the Eastern Alliance controlled the eastern side of the outer world, and with such great strength, it was possible that they had it in their treasury. If he became a high-ranking member of the Eastern Alliance, Zhao Fu would most likely be able to find out about this. How would he start? By infiltrating the Eastern Alliance. Zhao Fu first gathered information and gained some understanding of the Eastern Alliance so that he could sneak in and obtain the Bronze Shard. Every alliance had 12 Alliance Masters, and the 12 Alliance Masters were split into 12 factions. Zhao Fu had heard that the 8th Alliance Master was an ugly woman. This woman was said to be ugly, but she was very powerful and treated her subordinates well. Apart from being a bit ugly, there was nothing wrong with her. Zhao Fu decided to start with her, and if he found that the Eastern Alliance did not have it, he would go to other places to collect it. A few hours later, Zhao Fu came to the 8th Alliance Master's territory and heard that someone was collecting a material. Zhao Fu just so happened to have that material, and that person was a high-ranking member of the 8th Alliance. If Zhao Fu wanted him to introduce him to the 8th Alliance, it would be easier. After coming to a room, a bearded, muscular man smiled and said, "You have what I need." Zhao Fu nodded and took out a pill bottle and threw it over, saying, "You can take a look." The bearded, muscular man was called Dongfeng Hu, and after opening the pill bottle, he saw that there was a fiery red pill within. He lightly sniffed it and smiled as he said, "That's right, this is the blazing body-forging pill that I need. Since you're so straightforward, I won't waste any more time. What do you want?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I want to join the Eastern Alliance and get a good position." Dongfeng Hu said somewhat awkwardly, "Can you change it to something else? This isn't easy right now." Zhao Fu asked, "What is it?" Dongfeng Hu said, "Before, this was quite easy. Because of that evil immortal, the Eastern Alliance is on high alert, and it will be quite difficult to plant people in." Zhao Fu took a step back and said, "Then I don't need a high position. I just need an ordinary one." Dongfeng Hu thought about it and said, "All right, I agree." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Thank you." The two of them left the room and came to the border of the 8th Alliance's territory. They entered a building, and the people from the construction department all bowed. Dongfeng Hu smiled as he said, "Right now, he's the manager here. In the future, all of you will listen to him." Everyone looked at Zhao Fu and replied, "Yes." Dongfeng Hu turned to look at Zhao Fu and smiled as he said, "I'll leave this place to you. If there's anything you don't understand, ask the others and they'll tell you what to do." Zhao Fu nodded. After Dongfeng Hu left, a middle-aged man with a beard bowed to Zhao Fu and handed a metal seal to Zhao Fu. "Sir, this is the Alliance seal. Everything within the Alliance requires the Alliance seal." Zhao Fu took the seal and looked at it. The seal was only 3 fingers wide, and there was an eagle carved on it. There was also an 8 carved on the side, and the words Han City were written below. Right now, Zhao Fu was most likely in Han City. With the seal, it meant that Zhao Fu was this city's deacon. Deacons did not have much power, and they were only responsible for managing a small area. The city lord was responsible for managing these deacons. Chapter 2977. Book 1. Chapter 417. Zhao Fu accepted the union seal and asked, "What's your name?" The middle-aged man replied, "My name is Dongfeng He." Zhao Fu nodded and said, I need to know all kinds of information about this place. Dongfang, he said, I will report everything I know to you, Lord. After an hour, Zhao Fu had a general understanding of Han City. There were 17 deacons here, and Zhao Fu's current status was the weakest among the deacons. The area under his jurisdiction was small, and he did not get many benefits. Zhao Fu asked, Is there any way to quickly raise one's status in the Union? Dongfang, he replied, This can only be done by someone with a higher position. Zhao Fu said with a smile, In other words, if I want to have a higher status, I must ask the city lord for it. Dongfang nodded. Zhao Fu said with a smile, Tell me the information about the city lord. Dongfang, he was a bit surprised. He had already guessed what Zhao Fu wanted to do, and he also knew that Zhao Fu would not stay in this place for too long. Dongfang, he replied, Yes. The city lord of Han City had already reached the emptiness realm, and he was a lecherous and timid person. A deacon wanted to offer him a beauty, so he got a better position. However, the situation in Han City was stable, and it was hard to change the position of deacon. Zhao Fu was not interested in the other positions of deacons. Even if his status was raised, he would still be a deacon. Zhao Fu was interested in the position of the city lord. However, the city lord was usually chosen from the more outstanding deacons. If Zhao Fu wanted to become the city lord, he had to become an outstanding deacon. After thinking for a while, Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang and said, Follow me in the future. I promise you that you will be rich and powerful. Dongfang could also see that Zhao Fu was extraordinary. He smiled and bowed. Thank you, Lord, for choosing me. Zhao Fu waited for an entire night before stealthily sneaking towards the city lord's mansion. Zhao Fu's method was quite direct. He directly snuck into the city lord's mansion and took control of the city lord. He would then forcefully promote the city lord to an excellent deacon before dethroning the city lord and becoming the new city lord. Although the city lord's cultivation base was at the emptiness realm, he was only an average emptiness realm cultivator. He was not very strong. Zhao Fu believed that he still had the ability to do so. Before, when Zhao Fu was at the Emperor Heaven realm, he could already fight with Void Realm experts. Now that Zhao Fu had obtained all sorts of terrifying powers, it would be quite troublesome for him to deal with powerful Void Realm experts, but it would be much easier for him to deal with ordinary Void Realm experts. Zhao Fu easily snuck into the city lord's mansion and arrived at a spacious and luxurious room. A skinny middle-aged man frowned. What does that Eastern Hu mean? Why did they suddenly send someone to Hancheng? He was Han City's city lord, Dongfang Kong. Next to him was a cold-looking young man. He was called Dongfang Lu, and he was Han City's most powerful deacon. It was he who had married his big sister to Dongfang Kong and obtained his current position, and he replied, I'm sure Eastern Hu wants to dethrone the city lord and take control of Han City. Dongfang Kong said angrily, It's just that I didn't do what he ordered me to do, yet he wants to replace me so quickly. Since he's being heartless, don't blame me for being unjust. I'll immediately serve another head deacon and no longer serve Eastern Hu. A head deacon's position was much higher than a city lord's, and a city lord position was only that of an intermediate deacon. Dongfang Lu nodded. Dongfang Lu was worried that his position would be threatened when Eastern Hu suddenly sent someone to become Han City's head deacon, so he immediately went to find Dongfang Kong to discuss this. He understood that Dongfang Kong was not very strong, and adding on the fact that he had not completed Eastern Hu's orders, it was likely that he would be replaced. His position would fall to rock bottom, and Dongfang Kong would have to sway left and right in order to survive. Dongfang Kong did not have his own opinion and asked, Which head deacon do you think we should serve? Dongfang Lu thought about it and said, I think it's either a powerful head deacon or someone who has a conflict with Eastern Hu. Apart from those two, it'll be very difficult for anyone else to protect us. Dongfang Kong said, A powerful head deacon might not like us, so we'll find someone who has enmity with Eastern Hu. I just want to be the city lord and don't have any other goals. Eastern Hu forced me to do all of this, and I didn't do anything bad to him. Dongfang Lu smiled as he said, The city lord isn't wrong at all. It's all because of Eastern Hu. Hearing this, Dongfang Kong grinned. Dongfang Lu continued to say, "However, we can't reveal this matter right now, because Eastern who hasn't made it clear that he wants to replace us. We can continue to hide and fight back when necessary." Dongfang Kong smiled and nodded. "I don't think there's any need to go through so much trouble." A figure suddenly sounded out, causing the two people's expressions to fall. A terrifying aura spread out in the air as countless traces of blood-red qi leapt towards the two people. Dongfang Lu was only at the Emperor Heaven Realm, and the blood-red qi covered him, locking him in place. He was unable to resist at all. It could be seen the difference between Zhao Fu and ordinary Emperor Heaven Realm experts. Seeing the blood-red qi coming at him, Dongfang Kong immediately exploded out with a powerful power, forming a formless force field that blocked the blood-red qi. Just as Dongfang Kong was about to call out, the blood-red qi condensed into a massive hand and grabbed towards Dongfang Kong with terrifying power. The force field protecting Dongfang Kong was shattered, and the blood-red qi hand grabbed Dongfang Kong. Zhao Fu smiled as he walked out of the air. Dongfang Lu immediately recognized Zhao Fu and said, "You're the new head deacon?" As expected, Eastern who wanted to get rid of us from the start. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "I think you've misunderstood. I don't know if Eastern who wanted to or not, but getting rid of you is my own will." Dongfang Kong said in fear, "Don't kill me. I'll give you anything you want." That's right, his big sister, Dongfang Mei, is Han City's #1 beauty. "As long as you don't kill me, I'll give her to you." Seeing Dongfang Kong, a Void Realm expert, act so cowardly in front of an Emperor Heaven Realm expert, Dongfang Lu felt quite disgusted and angry. However, in order to live, he could only say, "That's right, my big sister is Han City's #1 beauty." "Sir, are you not tempted?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I don't have such thoughts right now. You can die now." The blood-red qi turned into countless insects and crawled into the two people's bodies. Sensing this power, the two people were horrified to confirm that Zhao Fu was the evil celestial. The two people struggled in pain, but it was too late. In the end, the two people lost their strength and became puppets. Now, Zhao Fu could control them to do anything. Ordinary higher beings would not be able to tell, because Zhao Fu was using the evil celestial's power. Chapter 2978. Book 1, Chapter 418. End of Book 1. After Zhao Fu controlled the two of them, he immediately had Dongfang Kong give out a series of orders, raising Zhao Fu to the highest position. Dongfang, he looked quite shocked. How had Zhao Fu's status been raised so much after leaving for a while? It seemed that Zhao Fu was even more terrifying than he had thought. A beautiful woman with a graceful figure angrily ran into the room and looked at Dongfang Kong, sitting in front of her, as she said angrily, "Why did you give my little brother's position to someone else?" She was Dongfang Mei, Han City's #1 beauty. She did not know that Dongfang Kong had been controlled by Zhao Fu, and after hearing that her little brother had been crippled, she angrily ran over, wanting an explanation. Dongfang Kong did not say anything while Zhao Fu lightly laughed. "You're indeed quite good-looking." Dongfang Mei frowned and noticed that there was a mysterious cloaked person in the room and asked coldly, "Who are you?" Zhao Fu lightly smiled as he replied, "I'm the newly appointed deacon." Dongfang Mei said coldly, "So it's you." Zhao Fu laughed. Dongfang Mei angrily looked at Dongfang Kong and said, "Have him leave. I have something to say to you." Dongfang Kong did not reply. Dongfang Mei felt quite confused as to why Dongfang Kong would act like this. Just as she was about to say something, Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You don't need to say anything. He's already under my control." Dongfang Mei felt quite startled and looked at Zhao Fu before quickly retreating. She never would have thought that Dongfang Kong would be silently controlled by someone in the city lord's residence, making her situation incredibly dangerous. Seeing that she wanted to run, Zhao Fu waved his hand, and a wave of energy slammed the door shut. Dongfang Mei stopped and turned to look at Zhao Fu with an unsightly expression as she asked, "What do you want to do to me?" Zhao Fu lightly smiled and walked over to Dongfang Mei. A few hours later, Dongfang Mei lay on the ground with a red face, while Zhao Fu put on his clothes. Dongfang Mei asked, "Who are you?" Zhao Fu said, "It's not a good time to talk about it now." Dongfang Mei continued, "Then what did you do to my husband and brother?" Zhao Fu glanced at her and said, "They are already under my control, and their souls have been devoured. Right now, they are just two puppets." Dongfang Mei cursed angrily. "You bastard!" Zhao Fu said calmly, "You guys won't be any better off. Also, you better behave yourself. Otherwise, I'll destroy your entire family." Dongfang Mei was both angry and wronged. She looked at Zhao Fu with tears in her eyes. Even though she did not have any feelings for Dongfang Kong, and becoming a puppet would only affect her status, she did not feel too bad about it. However, the key thing was that her little brother had become a puppet, and she felt incredibly sad. Now that she had been bullied and threatened by Zhao Fu, all sorts of emotions welled up within her. Seeing Dongfang Mei cry, Zhao Fu helplessly hugged her and comforted her. "I won't treat you and your family unfairly. After I become the city lord, I will choose a deacon from your family, but your status is not limited to the city lord's wife. As for your brother, I can only apologize." Dongfang Mei felt a bit better, but she still angrily looked at Zhao Fu. It was evident that she would not forgive Zhao Fu so quickly. At this moment, there was a knock on the door, and Dongfang he said, "Sir, I've already gathered the information you wanted." Zhao Fu nodded and looked at Dongfang Mei, who was in his embrace. He took some clothes and wrapped them around her body and sat on the seat before opening the door. Dongfang he entered the room and saw that Dongfang Kong and Dongfang Lu were on one side, while Zhao Fu was sitting on the city lord's seat, holding the disheveled city lord's wife in his arms. Dongfang he understood the current situation and was even more shocked at how powerful Zhao Fu was, as well as Zhao Fu's identity. The information that Zhao Fu had asked Dongfang he to gather was information that could be appointed as the city lord. Now that he had become the highest-ranking deacon, the next step was to become the city lord. The city lord could only be appointed by the great deacon, and Dongfang, who was one of them. Zhao Fu did not want to trouble him too much, and he wanted to find another deacon to appoint him as the city lord. Of course, Dongfang Kong would not be abolished before he made a big mistake. As such, Zhao Fu could only make Dongfang Kong disappear and then inherit the position of city lord. The head attendant's power had reached the spirit realm, and Zhao Fu could not control it, so he could not use this method. Zhao Fu asked, "Who do you think will be the easiest to convince among the many deacons?" Dongfang he replied, "Most city lords are loyal to a certain deacon, and the city lord of Han City was originally loyal to Dongfang Hu. If Sir chooses someone else, it will definitely cause some disputes. Sir was arranged by Dongfang Hu, so I think Dongfang Hu should be the easiest." In order to avoid his identity being exposed, Zhao Fu did not want to interact with Dongfang Hu. However, Dongfang Hu was the most suitable person, so Zhao Fu could only look for him. Dongfang Mei was in Zhao Fu's embrace, and hearing Zhao Fu's words, she could feel that the people behind Zhao Fu were not ordinary. Zhao Fu thought for a moment before saying, "All right, I understand. I'll go find Dongfang Hu in a bit." Dongfang he bowed and said, "I'll be going now." Dongfang Mei looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "What are your plans and goals?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "It's fine to tell you. I want to become one of the most powerful people in the Eighth Alliance." Dongfang Mei felt quite shocked and did not believe that Zhao Fu could do it. However, thinking about how mysterious and powerful Zhao Fu was, perhaps he could do it. Seeing Zhao Fu tell her such an important matter, Dongfang Mei asked in a small voice, "What kind of person do you take me for?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Of course you're my woman." Dongfang Mei inwardly let out a sigh of relief. She had been afraid that Zhao Fu was just toying with her, so she looked at Zhao Fu and said, "If you treat me better in the future, I can forgive you. Also, you have to return my little brother to me." Dongfang Lu was of no use to Zhao Fu, so he smiled and said, "Sure." Only then did Dongfang Mei give a trace of a smile and hug Zhao Fu as she snuggled into Zhao Fu's embrace. 2 hours later, Han City's city lord suddenly died, and news of this spread. Everyone looked quite confused, and the various deacons hurried over. Dongfang Kong was a void realm cultivator, and even though he was quite weak, he would not die so easily. There was something very suspicious about this, so the deacons wanted to come and see what had happened. To avoid trouble, Zhao Fu directly cremated Dongfang Kong's corpse so that there would be no witnesses. Within the hall, the deacons looked at the urn in front of them and sensed the aura. It was indeed Dongfang Kong's ashes, and a round-faced young man asked, "Wasn't the city lord fine 2 days ago? How'd he suddenly die?" Chapter 2979. Book 1, Chapter 419. End of Book 1. Dongfang Mei pretended to be sad as she said, "I'm not sure either. My husband suddenly coughed up blood and died." A white-haired elder asked, "Then why did you cremate the city lord's corpse so quickly? Such a big matter should be reported to the higher-ups." Dongfang Mei did not know how to reply. Zhao Fu stood up and said, "I'll take responsibility for this matter. If there's anything else, you can leave now." Everyone looked at Zhao Fu, and a young man asked, "Who are you?" Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "I'm Dongfang Jun, and I'm Han City's highest-ranking deacon." The deacons looked at Zhao Fu with serious expressions. They had just received news that Han City's highest-ranking deacon had been replaced, but not long after, the city lord had died. This matter was simply too strange, and the city lord's death had a lot to do with this person in front of them. Zhao Fu did not want to waste words, and continued to say, "I'll go find Deacon Dongfang Hu and take over the position of city lord." Everyone came to their senses. It turned out that Zhao Fu was Dongfang Hu's subordinate, and it was possible that Dongfang Hu wanted to get rid of Dongfang Kong. No one had any objections. They could only obey and could not resist. Some people not only did not ask how Dongfang Kong had died, but they instead started to congratulate Zhao Fu. After taking care of these matters, Zhao Fu went to where Dongfang Hu was. Dongfang Hu felt quite surprised. "Why have you come to find me?" Zhao Fu said, "Dongfang Kong has died, and I want to take over the position of city lord." Dongfang Hu slightly frowned and looked at Zhao Fu as he asked, "His death has something to do with you?" Zhao Fu did not want to hide anything and nodded before telling Dongfang Hu what Dongfang Kong had said. Dongfang Hu felt quite angry. Dongfang Kong deserves to die. After a while, Dongfang Hu looked at Zhao Fu and said, "Even though he deserves to die, what is your purpose?" "I didn't want to ask, but I think you must have some other purpose." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "What purpose can I have? I just want to obtain higher power. Don't you want that?" Dongfang Hu laughed and said, "Me too." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I want to become the city of Han City Lord. I wonder if you can agree?" Dongfang Hu looked at Zhao Fu and said, "I believe that in the future, your status will not be weaker than mine. We will still be of the same generation, and I can appoint you as the city of Han City Lord." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Thank you, Brother Tiger." Dongfang Hu smiled and said, "You're welcome. I might need your help in the future." After resolving this matter, Zhao Fu became Han City's city lord. It had only been a day since Zhao Fu had arrived to Han City, and yet Zhao Fu's status had changed so much. Dongfang, he was also promoted to be the steward of the city lord mansion. Dongfang, he smiled. It seemed that he had made the right choice. He had a premonition that his status would become even higher. Zhao Fu did not have any other plans for becoming the city lord for now, because raising his status would attract too much attention. As such, Zhao Fu decided to take this position for now. A beautiful woman with a voluptuous figure and a virtuous aura, wearing white mourning clothes, and a pure-looking young girl walked in. She bowed to Zhao Fu and said, "Sir City Lord, please give me my husband's ashes so that I can help him build a tomb." Zhao Fu felt quite strange and asked, "You are?" The beautiful woman replied, "My name is Dongfang Qing, and this is my daughter, Dongfang Yu. Dongfang Kong was my ex-husband." Zhao Fu continued to ask, "What's going on?" Dongfang Qing gave a simple explanation. It turned out that Dongfang Kong had a wife and daughter, but he was too infatuated with Dongfang Mei. In order to curry favor with Dongfang Mei, he divorced his wife, and Dongfang Qing took his daughter to live in a nearby city. Hearing that Dongfang Kong had passed away, Dongfang Qing remembered their past relationship and wanted to help Dongfang Kong with his funeral matters. Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Qing. In actuality, Dongfang Qing was quite a beauty, but to ordinary people, Dongfang Mei was more attractive. Facing Zhao Fu's gaze, Dongfang Qing frowned and said, "Sir City Lord, please conduct yourself." Zhao Fu retracted his gaze and smiled as he said, "I can give Dongfang Kong's ashes to you, but you have to agree to a request of mine." Dongfang Qing had already guessed Zhao Fu's goal, and she said with a cold expression, "I won't agree to such an unreasonable request." Zhao Fu laughed as he said, "It just so happens that this is an unreasonable request of mine." Dongfang Qing's beautiful eyes glared at Zhao Fu as she said, "I never thought that the new city lord would be such a bastard. He's simply scum." Dongfang Yu said angrily, "Big brother Dongfang Bai is pursuing my mother. If you dare to harm us, Big brother Dongfang Bai won't let you off." Zhao Fu walked over to the two of them and smiled as he asked, "Who is Dongfang Bai?" Dongfang Yu said confidently, "He's the city lord of the nearby Willow City, and he's even more powerful than you." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded as he took out a wooden box and said, "I'll give this to you." Seeing that Zhao Fu was afraid of Dongfang Bai, Dongfang Qing inwardly let out a sigh of relief and took the wooden box. Dongfang Yu revealed a smile. She also liked Dongfang Bai. She really wanted her mother to be with Dongfang Bai, but her mother had always tactfully refused, saying that she had a husband. Now that her father was dead, her mother should be able to be with big brother Dongfang Bai. When she was 4 or 5 years old, Dongfang Yu had left with Dongfang Qing, and she did not have much feelings for her father. Dongfang Qing bowed and smiled as she said, "Thank you, Sir City Lord." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You're welcome." After speaking, Zhao Fu hugged Dongfang Qing. Dongfang Qing had never thought that Zhao Fu would act like this and hurriedly struggled. Dongfang Yu was startled and angrily went up, wanting to pull away Zhao Fu, this bastard. A few hours later, Zhao Fu smiled as he looked at the mother and daughter in his arms. "You're both not bad. Dongfang Kong doesn't cherish you, so I'll cherish you." Dongfang Qing angrily and embarrassedly glared at Zhao Fu. Dongfang Yu looked at Zhao Fu with a red face and looked at Zhao Fu's perfect face, seeming to be entranced and not thinking about big brother Dongfang Bai. Zhao Fu said, "If you want to help Dongfang Kong build a tomb, I'll get people to do it. In the future, you can stay in Han City." Dongfang Qing replied, "No, Willow City is our home now." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I'll go with you and bring the family over." Dongfang Yu said, "If big brother Dongfang Bai knows that you've done such a thing for us, he'll definitely kill you." Zhao Fu said confidently, "Don't worry, I won't be harmed in any way." Dongfang Qing pouted, "Who's worried about your safety?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I'll go with you then." Chapter 2980, Volume 1, Chapter 420. Zhao Fu arrived at Willow City. Dongfang Qing looked at him bitterly and said, "I don't want to see any conflict between you and Dongfang Bai." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. "Pack your things and we'll leave." Dongfang Qing nodded. This time, Zhao Fu did not have anything to do. He just wanted to walk around and learn a bit about the internal affairs of the Eastern Alliance. Now that he had just become a city lord, his next goal was to become a Grand Deacon. He needed some time to plan. The place that Dongfang Qing was staying in was a simple yet elegant small courtyard. There were even some flowers planted in the front courtyard. Zhao Fu was waiting outside, while Dongfang Qing and Dongfang Yu were tidying up the room. At that moment, a handsome man in white who looked to be around 27 or 28 years old walked in. He had been smiling, but after seeing Zhao Fu, he frowned and asked, "Who are you? Why are you here?" Zhao Fu looked at him and said, "You are Dongfang Bai, right?" Dongfang Bai replied, "I am." Zhao Fu smiled and replied, "I'm Han City City Lord, Dongfang Jun." Dongfang Bai narrowed his eyes. He had heard of this matter and knew that this Dongfang Jun in front of him was highly regarded by Dongfang Hu. Moreover, Dongfang Kong's death might also be related to him. Originally, Dongfang Bai wanted to go to Han City with Dongfang Qing to prevent any accidents from happening to Dongfang Qing, but he was tactfully refused. Why did he appear here? Dong Fangbai said coldly. What did you do to them? Zhao Fu said with a smile. Nothing, they're fine. At that moment, Dong Fangqing and Dong Fangyu walked over and looked at Dong Fangbai. Dong Fangyu smiled and called out, Big brother Dong Fangbai. Seeing that the two of them were fine, Dong Fang felt relieved. He smiled and said, How did it go? Dong Fangyu smiled and said, It's done. Now, let's pack up and return to Han City. Dong Fangbai looked surprised. What? Back to Hansheng? Dong Fangyu blushed. She glanced at Zhao Fu and nodded. Dong Fangbai asked anxiously, Why? Aren't you all doing well in Willow City? Why are you back in Han City? Dong Fangqing sighed. I'm sorry. Thank you for taking care of me all these years. Dong Fangbai angrily looked at Zhao Fu. Did you do something to them? Zhao Fu chuckled. What do you think? Dong Fangbai was enraged and gave off a powerful aura as he prepared to attack Zhao Fu. Dong Fangqing hurriedly said, No. Dong Fangbai stopped and looked at Dong Fangqing as he said, If he threatened you, there's no need to film him. I'll take care of it. Dong Fangqing turned his head and spoke in a depressed tone. He didn't threaten us. It was us who wanted to go back. Dong Fangbai looked at Zhao Fu and understood that there was definitely something going on. He did not hesitate and gave off a powerful aura as he punched toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu was about to make a move. Dong Fangqing blocked in front of Zhao Fu. No. Dong Fangqing understood that Zhao Fu's strength was far above Dong Fangbai's. If Dong Fangbai and Zhao Fu fought, it would definitely be Dong Fangbai who would be injured. Dong Fangbai had treated them well over the years and had always taken care of them, so Dong Fangqing did not want Dong Fangbai to be injured. Dong Fangbai stopped and said angrily, Why? Dong Fangqing could not reply. She could not say that she and her daughter had been harmed by that bastard Zhao Fu, so she could only silently stand there. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, They're my women now. Dong Fangbai's eyes gave off killing intent, and his body quickly disappeared, passing by Dong Fangqing and appearing behind Zhao Fu as he punched toward Zhao Fu. Boom! Zhao Fu exploded out with a massive power, sending Dong Fangbai flying back and crashing to the ground. Dong Fangbai looked quite confused as he said, I never thought that Zhao Fu would be so powerful. Dong Fangyu quickly went over and helped Dong Fangbai up as she asked, Big brother Bai, are you all right? Dong Fangbai's expression was cold as he looked at Zhao Fu and replied, I'm fine. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I held back just then, or else you would have been in trouble. You're not a match for me, so it's best if you behave yourself. Dong Fangbai looked at Zhao Fu furiously. Even though he was quite angry, what Zhao Fu said was the truth, and he could not refute it. Now, he understood why Dong Fangqing had left with Zhao Fu. It was because she could not resist Zhao Fu. Dong Fangbai said coldly, Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you're stronger than me. There are many people who are stronger than you. Zhao Fu laughed as he said, I didn't want to act against you, but since you're looking for trouble, I'll help you out. You promised me that you wouldn't clash with Dong Fangbai. Dong Fangqing angrily said. Dong Fangyu looked at Zhao Fu hopefully. She did not want to see Zhao Fu and Dong Fangbai fight, and she would feel sad no matter which side was injured. Looking at the mother and daughter, Zhao Fu said, All right, I'll do as you say. Hurry up and pack your things and come with me. Dong Fangqing looked at Dong Fangbai and said apologetically, I'm sorry, it's impossible between us. Also, thank you for taking care of me all these years. I'll think of other ways to repay you. Please leave now. Dong Fangbai looked quite uncomfortable. He did not have any power, so what could he do by staying here? In the end, Dong Fangbai dejectedly left. Looking at Dong Fangbai leave, Dong Fangqing felt quite sad. If it was not for Zhao Fu, perhaps she and Dong Fangbai would have had some chance. After all, it was impossible for them to not have any feelings for each other. However, that bastard Zhao Fu had appeared. Dong Fangqing turned to look at Zhao Fu and vigorously patted Zhao Fu before returning to her room to continue packing. Dong Fangyu obediently returned to her room. Zhao Fu smiled as he stood there. He did not mention this matter at all. After returning to Han City, Dong Fangmei coldly looked at Dong Fangqing and her mother. She had never thought that things would become like this. Not only had Zhao Fu obtained her, but he had also obtained Dongfang Kong's ex-wife. In the future, wouldn't they have to serve Zhao Fu together? Dongfang Qing also had a cold expression. She would not forget that Dongfang Kong had abandoned her and her daughter for the sake of this woman in front of her. Dongfang Mei looked at Zhao Fu and said coldly, "Is it not enough to have me?" Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "Of course it's not enough." Dongfang Mei angrily glared at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu lightly smiled and worked hard to ease the tension between the two of them. In the next few days, a beautiful woman in a red dress joined in. She was also an attendant, and in order to curry favor with Zhao Fu, she took the initiative to offer herself. She was called Dongfang Li. After a few days, Zhao Fu started to think about how to become a great attendant. Great attendants were higher-ups in the Eastern Alliance, and it was quite difficult to get one. Only those who had made great contributions would be promoted to a great attendant in a short period of time. Now, the key question was how to make great contributions. Should he reveal the evil immortal's identity? Chapter 2981. Book 1, Chapter 421. End of Book 1 with how much the Eastern Alliance hated the evil immortal. If news of the evil immortal leaked out, it would be even worse. If a large group of experts surrounded him, Zhao Fu's identity would become even more prominent. As such, he had to find other ways to make great contributions. Dongfang Li smiled as she asked, "What are you thinking about?" Zhao Fu said, "I'm thinking about how to become a head deacon." Dongfang Qing said in shock, "Didn't you just become a city lord a few days ago? Why do you want to become a head deacon?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Do you think I'll limit myself to becoming a city lord?" Dongfang Mei lightly laughed as she said, "I know that you don't just want to be a city lord. I like that you're ambitious, and I want to see you become a heaven deacon." Heaven deacons were the most powerful people apart from the Alliance Master, and this was Zhao Fu's goal. As long as he could become a heaven deacon, Zhao Fu would be able to collect bronze shards. However, there were only a few heaven deacons, and it was incredibly difficult to become one. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I'm here to become a heaven deacon." Dongfang Li said, "If you want to become a head deacon, you need to be favored by at least 3 deacons. I know a deacon's son who has a strange illness, and as long as you can cure him, he most likely won't refuse you." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Is that so? You're telling me it's that deacon?" Dongfang Li nodded. A middle-aged man with a scar on his face, dressed in green clothes, looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Do you have the ability to cure my son?" Zhao Fu replied, "I have some healing methods, but I'll need to see the young master's illness first." The middle-aged man nodded. "What do you need then?" Zhao Fu replied, "I want to receive Sir's support and become a head deacon." The middle-aged man was not surprised and nodded. "If you can cure my son, I can support you to become a head deacon, and I'll owe you a favor. However, if you can't cure him, that's fine." The middle-aged man's son had already tried many treatments, but none of them had been effective, so he was willing to give a try. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. He would not suffer any losses. The middle-aged man said, "Come with me." Following this, Zhao Fu and the others followed the middle-aged man to a room. There was a weak-looking young man lying on the bed, his body giving off a gray aura. Zhao Fu looked at the young man and was not sure what illness he had, so he said, "Sir, please leave for a moment." The middle-aged man nodded and left the room before closing the door. Dongfang Li looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Can you heal him?" Zhao Fu replied, "I'm not sure, but I can try." Saint 77, Saint 7, Demon, the Saint, the 487, the Saint Era, Zhao Qinshi, 17, 17 of the deity. Dongfang Li sensed the blood flowing out of Zhao Fu's body and felt a great sense of oppression. She understood that Zhao Fu's bloodline was far superior to hers, and she started to feel curious about Zhao Fu's identity. Zhao Fu controlled the blood to fly towards the Saint 77 and entered the Saint 7's body. A powerful wave of blood energy spread out and a large amount of gray aura flowed out, spreading out like a thick gray fog. This gray aura was incredibly corrosive and wanted to enter Zhao Fu and the Saint 777's bodies and gather towards them. Zhao Fu released a defensive barrier that covered himself and Dongfang Li, preventing the gray aura from coming closer. Zhao Fu continued to activate the blood energy. The Saint 777's body gave off a blood-red light, and even more gray aura spread out. After a while, the gray aura started to weaken before slowly disappearing. However, the gray aura in the room was like a thick fog, showing no signs of dissipating. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand and grabbed at the air, causing a formless energy to spread out. Countless traces of gray aura quickly gathered, forming an egg-sized ball of gray fog. This thing was harmful and was not easy to get rid of, so Zhao Fu put it away. He went up to check on the young man's body. The young man's face had regained some color, and his breathing was smooth. Everything in his body was normal. The young man's illness had been successfully cured. Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Open the door. He is cured." Dongfang Li smiled and nodded. If she could cure this young man, then she would be 1/3 of the way to becoming a great deacon. The middle-aged man walked in delight and looked at the young man on the bed. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would be able to cure his son, and he excitedly went up to check. After finding that there were no problems, he smiled and said to Zhao Fu, "Thank you, sir." Zhao Fu smiled. "You're welcome." The middle-aged man asked, "What kind of strange disease does my son have?" Zhao Fu did not know, and he did not want to pursue the matter. He said, "I'm not sure, but the young man has been cured by me. Sir, you don't have to worry." The middle-aged man smiled as he said, "All right, I'll do what I promised you. I'll support you in becoming a great deacon, and if you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can come and find me. I'll do my best to help you." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Thank you." The middle-aged man happily said, "I should be thanking you. Stay and be my guest in the future, and let me properly take care of you." Zhao Fu thought about it and decided that he would need the middle-aged man's support in the future, so he did not refuse. After the celebration, Zhao Fu and Dongfang Li returned to Han City. Dongfang Mei smiled and asked, "Has the matter been resolved?" Dongfang Li nodded. "I don't know what illness that young man had, but he was cured by our husband in the end. He's only 2 more human deacons before our husband can become a great deacon." Dongfang Mei smiled as she said, I feel that this is progressing quite quickly. Soon, I'll be a great deacon's wife." Dongfang Qing said worriedly, "I feel that if you do it step by step, you'll definitely become a great figure. Don't be too fast, or else you'll make others feel fearful and dissatisfied." Zhao Fu hugged her and smiled as he said, I know." Dongfang Qing rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and did not struggle. Dongfang Li asked, "What should we do now? Do we need to find those 2 human deacons to support us?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Let's gather some information first. There's no need for things to progress so quickly, or else we won't attract too much attention." Dongfang Li nodded. Dongfang Mei smiled and hugged Zhao Fu as she said, "Then we'll properly celebrate today. You can bully us however you want." Dongfang Li smiled and nodded. Dongfang Qing's face became red. She did not know what to do. She liked staying by Zhao Fu's side more and more, and she started to accept Zhao Fu as her man. Chapter 2982, Volume 1, Chapter 422. Chapter 422, according to the information he had gathered, Zhao Fu quickly found a second suitable person. His name was Dongfang Shan, and he was one of the more ordinary deacons. As long as someone gave him something valuable, he would approve of them. Zhao Fu came to the courtyard where Dongfang Shan was sitting and bowed as he said, "I greet sir." Dongfang Shan was an ordinary-looking man, and he smiled as he said, I'm sure I don't need to explain the rules here, right?" Zhao Fu took out a wooden box and handed it over, saying, "This is a gift for sir." Dongfang Shan stretched out his hand and grabbed, causing the wooden box to fly into his hand. He opened it and saw many rays of blue light shoot out. Within the wooden box was a blue gem, and Dongfang Shan felt quite delighted as he put it away. "What do you want?" Zhao Fu replied, "I want to receive sir's acknowledgement." Dongfang Shan lightly laughed as he said, That's no problem. You want to become a head attendant, right? How many people's acknowledgement have you received? Zhao Fu replied, including Sir and 2 others. Dongfang Shan smiled as he said, give me some more good things, and I'll help you with the last person. Zhao Fu felt quite delighted and immediately took out some things and handed them over, saying, thank you, sir. Zhao Fu did not take out anything too precious because he was only at the Emperor Heaven Realm. If he took out something too precious, others would become suspicious and might even be in danger. Dongfang Shan took the things and looked at them before putting them away in satisfaction and smiling as he said, I'll introduce you to someone called Dongfang Ku. If you say that I told you to go, he'll give me some face. As for whether or not he acknowledges you, I can't guarantee anything. Zhao Fu nodded, I understand. Following this, Zhao Fu followed Dongfang Shan's instructions and found Dongfang Ku. Dongfang Ku was an elderly man who wore green robes and was teaching 10 or so young men and women in an empty area. Zhao Fu walked over and bowed. Dongfang Ku did not look at Zhao Fu and asked, what is it? Zhao Fu said, I was recommended by Lord Dongfang Mountain. I wish to gain his recognition and become a Grand Deacon. Dongfang Ku said calmly, if you give Dongfang Shan something good, he will approve of you. However, I am not so easily fooled. Zhao Fu was a little surprised. Didn't they say that it was easy to gain his approval? Dongfang Ku then said, however, I can give you a chance. As long as you can do it, I will acknowledge you. Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Ku and asked, what's the matter? Dongfang Ku said, I have a grandson named Dongfang Ruo. I don't know where he is now. Please help me find him. Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt that it was quite simple. It was just finding a person, so he smiled and said, sure. Dongfang Ku reminded, he has a secret treasure of mine on him that can conceal his aura. If I don't search carefully, I might not be able to find him. Dongfang Ku threw a small bottle to Zhao Fu and said, the blood in this bottle belongs to my grandson. You can use the aura that the bloodline gives off to find him. Zhao Fu nodded and said, I'll go and find him for you right now. Zhao Fu took the bottle of blood and went to an empty area. Dongfang Ku did not know where his grandson was, and the area was quite big, making it quite difficult to find him. At that moment, Zhao Fu thought of one of the great immortal evil beast abilities, which was called the corpse flesh-seeking bug. To use this ability, one had to split off a part of one's flesh and create a strange bug that could accurately find a person's location. Moreover, it was extremely sensitive to auras and could search a large area. Zhao Fu poured the bottle of blood onto the ground and pressed his hand against the blood on the ground. An evil and twisting power spread out, and Zhao Fu's hand turned into a mass of flesh and blood that spread out. The flesh and blood squirmed and changed, looking quite horrifying. Within the mass of flesh and blood, transparent bugs that were the size of soybeans and looked like ladybugs crawled out. There were many of them, and they flew out in all directions. Inside a gambling house, a delicate and pretty young man was excitedly gathered with other people. A small bug was resting on his body, but no one noticed it. Suddenly, the young man felt a chill as a hand landed on his shoulder. The young man was Dongfang Ruo, and he immediately realized that his grandfather had sent people to capture him. He immediately wanted to use an item to escape, but a wave of power locked him in place. Dongfang Ruo turned and saw a man wearing a cloak. Did my grandfather send people to capture me? Zhao Fu nodded. Dongfang Ruo said angrily, I don't want to go back. I want to play for a while. Zhao Fu did not care about this. You don't have a choice right now. Zhao Fu grabbed Dongfang Ruo's arm and walked out. Dongfang Ruo vigorously struggled, but could not break free, and she said angrily, if you don't let go of me, I'll tell my grandfather that you bullied me and you're dead. At that moment, the people in the gambling den came over, and a ferocious-looking man said, this guest doesn't want to leave, so you can't take him away. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, hurry up and scram. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. The ferocious-looking man laughed as he said, an Emperor Heaven Realm expert like you dares to say such a thing? It's not too late to kneel and apologize. or else you'll die a horrible death. Dongfang Ruo immediately called out, "That's right. Hurry up and kill him. I can give you money." "Ha!" A clear sound rang out as Dongfang Ruo was slapped in the face by Zhao Fu. Half of her face swelled up, and the pain and humiliation caused Dongfang Ruo to cry. The ferocious-looking man and the others looked furious and attacked Zhao Fu. Chi, chi, chi. Many tendrils grew out of Zhao Fu's body, making him look like he was forged from black iron. They pierced through the bodies of the people who rushed over, causing blood to fly everywhere as cries continuously sounded out. Seeing this scene, the people in the surroundings looked quite startled and hurriedly retreated to avoid trouble. Dongfang Ruo was so scared that her face became pale and she did not dare to say anything else. Zhao Fu put away the tendrils, and the ferocious-looking man and the others fell to the ground. Some people cried out in pain, while others had already died. Zhao Fu was expressionless as he pulled Dongfang Ruo's body and continued to walk out. "How dare you? You actually dare to injure my people." A loud shout rang out, and a tall young man rushed in. The tall young man looked at Zhao Fu and furiously yelled, "Who are you?" Zhao Fu replied, "Han City's city lord." The tall young man felt quite surprised. An Emperor Heaven Realm expert like you can become a city lord? However, even if you're a city lord, since you kill my people today, you must. Zhao Fu looked at the young man in front of him and calmly cut him off. Scram. Chapter 2983, Volume 1. Chapter 423. The tall young man couldn't take it anymore and ferociously punched toward Zhao Fu with a flood of energy. Zhao Fu punched out with a simple punch. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded out as the two fists collided, causing a massive shockwave to ripple out. The flood of energy was completely destroyed, and the tall young man was forced back 5 or 6 steps while Zhao Fu did not move back at all. The tall young man looked quite confused. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would be so powerful that he, a Void Realm expert, could not defeat an Emperor Heaven Realm expert. The people in the surroundings were also quite shocked. This city of Han City Lord was not just powerful. He could actually suppress a Void Realm expert. Zhao Fu looked at the tall young man and said, "I'll give you one more chance. Piss off." The tall young man looked quite furious, but he did not dare to attack. However, he did not want to move either, as that would be too embarrassing. As the tall young man hesitated, Zhao Fu's body disappeared and reappeared in front of the tall young man, and he vigorously kicked towards the tall young man. Bang! The tall young man was sent flying and crashed against a wall, causing it to crack, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. Ark! The tall young man furiously roared and exploded out with immense power. Red flames appeared around him as his body instantly disappeared and reappeared in front of Zhao Fu, and he punched towards Zhao Fu with a punch that seemed to be able to destroy space. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded out as Zhao Fu moved even faster and punched the tall young man's abdomen. The tall young man powerlessly fell to the ground and fainted. The surroundings fell silent, and no one dared to say anything. They all feared Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu turned and looked at Dongfang Ruo as he said, "Hurry up and follow me." Dongfang Ruo was so scared that her face became pale. She hurriedly went up and left with Zhao Fu. News quickly spread, and everyone focused on this city of Han City Lord. After returning to that empty space, Dongfang Ku looked at his nervous and scared grandson with a calm expression. He already knew what had happened. Dongfang Ku looked at Zhao Fu. Right now, he was more curious about Zhao Fu. Before, he had underestimated Zhao Fu. He had thought that Zhao Fu had been bribed with treasures to gain the deacon's approval. He hadn't expected that Zhao Fu himself would be so powerful and have such a bright future. Dongfang Ku said, "After this is done, I will acknowledge you as I promised." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Thank you, sir." Dongfang Ku continued, "The person you injured is a deacon subordinate. You should pay attention to this. Maybe he will harm you. If anything happens, you can come to me." Dongfang Ku valued Zhao Fu's future more now, so he wanted to support Zhao Fu. There was definitely no harm in doing so. Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Thank you, sir. I also want to apologize to you for hitting the young master." Dongfang Ku smiled as he said, "Don't mind this. My grandson should be taught a lesson in case he causes trouble in the future." Zhao Fu said, "I'll be taking my leave then." Now that he had obtained the approval of 3 deacons, Zhao Fu could become a head deacon. He would have to serve in the alliance, so Zhao Fu wanted to immediately go back and take care of this matter. Dongfang Ku nodded. Zhao Fu turned and left, disappearing. Seeing Zhao Fu disappear, Dongfang Ruo relaxed and said with a wronged expression, "Grandpa, that person was so terrifying. It hurts so much." Dongfang Ku glared at Dongfang Ruo and said, "Be more well-behaved in the future. If you cause trouble, even I won't be able to protect you. Moreover, that Dongfang Jun isn't simple at all, and his status will soon surpass mine. When that time comes, even I'll have to be courteous to him." Dongfang Ruo looked quite shocked as she said, "That fast? He's just in the Emperor Heaven realm." Dongfang Ku said seriously, "If you don't believe me, just wait and see. He'll soon shine brilliantly." Back at Han City, Dongfang Li smiled as she said, "Is it done?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. "I need to go to the Alliance to make a request. If nothing unexpected happens, I'll become a head deacon." Dongfang Li smiled as she said, "Congratulations, husband." Dongfang Yu also said happily, "Congratulations, big brother Jun." Dongfang Qing felt quite embarrassed and said, "Congratulations." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I'll go to the Alliance to make a request, and I'll celebrate with you all later." The women smiled and nodded. Zhao Fu submitted the request for the position of head deacon, and the 3 deacons received the information. They gave letters of approval to Zhao Fu to the Alliance, and Zhao Fu soon received the head deacon's appointment. After hearing about this, Dongfang Hu immediately came to congratulate Zhao Fu. Dongfang Hu had long since expected that Zhao Fu would soon become in existence on the same level as him, but he had not expected it to happen so quickly. It had only been a few days, and he felt quite shocked. He felt that Zhao Fu's status would continue to rise. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "There's no need to be so courteous, brother Hu. If it wasn't for you introducing me to the Alliance, I wouldn't be who I am today. I'll stay here to entertain you." Dongfang Hu smiled as he said, "No problem. I'll also have a few friends to introduce you to." Now, Dongfang Hu wanted to pull Zhao Fu into his circle. This would be mutually beneficial, and more importantly, he would be able to consolidate his own faction. Zhao Fu nodded. Following this, Dongfang Hu called over 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman. One was dressed in black and gave off a calm aura, and he was called Dongfang Yi. One was bald and gave off a tall aura, and he was called Dongfang Mi. One was called Dongfang Wu, and the last woman was called Dongfang Rong. The 4 of them heard about Zhao Fu and were very interested in Zhao Fu, the person who had become a great deacon the fastest. Dongfang Wu smiled as he said, "The news about you has just spread, and now that I've seen it for myself, you're indeed extraordinary." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "No, outsiders are exaggerating. You're all Brother Hu's friends, so you'll be my friends in the future. Let me properly entertain everyone." At the banquet, everyone interacted amicably, and the relationship between the 2 sides became quite good. After the banquet, Zhao Fu stood under the eaves and looked at the bright moon in the sky, thinking about what would happen in the future. Now that he was a great deacon, he would be a human deacon, an earth deacon, and finally a heaven deacon. He hoped that there were bronze shards here, or else Zhao Fu's efforts would have been for nothing. Dongfang Mei hugged Zhao Fu from behind and smiled as she said, "What are you thinking about? Should we celebrate and congratulate you on becoming a great deacon?" Dongfang Li smiled as she said, "I also want to hear your plans." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "There's no rush. We'll talk about it after a while." Dongfang Qing said softly, "You're quite an unfathomable person, and I don't know when I'll find out your true identity. However, it's fine even if I don't know. I've resigned myself to my fate. Just don't forget about me when you go there in the future." Zhao Fu gave a slight smile and lightly nodded. Chapter 2984, Volume 1, Chapter 424. War to become a human deacon. One needed to be acknowledged by an Earth deacon. A human deacon status in the Alliance was quite high, and Earth deacons were rarely appointed. Only those who had made great contributions to the Alliance would be promoted to a human deacon. Otherwise, it would take decades of tests. Zhao Fu did not have the time to think about how to make a great contribution. Right now, the Eastern Alliance cared about the evil celestial the most. As long as this was beneficial to the Eastern Alliance, they would be greatly rewarded. Zhao Fu wanted to think of a way to not expose his identity and not attract too much attention. He heard that someone was researching how to counter the evil celestial's power. No one understood the evil celestial's power better than Zhao Fu, and if he was the one researching it, he would definitely be able to do it. Of course, in order to not attract too much attention, the effects could not be too good. A day later, Zhao Fu found an ordinary-looking middle-aged woman. She was called Dongfang Yu, and she was an Earth Deacon. According to Tian Deacon's orders, she was researching how to counter the evil celestial's power. Zhao Fu bowed and said, "Sir, I want to join the research to counter the evil celestial's power and help the Eastern Alliance defend against the evil celestial." Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, "I think I've heard of you before. You're that person who just became a head deacon, right? Why are you so impatient to advance so soon?" Zhao Fu hid his ambition as he replied, "That's right, I'm also working for the Eastern Alliance." Dongfang Yu lightly laughed as she said, "All right, seeing how confident you are, you must have some confidence. If you can really develop a way to counter the evil celestial's power, you'll have made a great contribution, and I'll make an exception to promote you to an Earth Deacon." Zhao Fu said gratefully, "Thank you, sir." Dongfang Yu brought Zhao Fu to a secret room. This secret room was quite big, and there were many people doing all sorts of things. Some were researching formations, some were researching medicine, some were researching insects, and some were researching various powers. Their goal was to research how to counter the evil celestial's power. An elderly man with white hair and a long beard wearing a long robe bowed when he saw Dongfang Yu bring a mysterious person over. "Greetings, sir." Dongfang Yu nodded. "I brought someone with me. Perhaps he'll be of some use in researching the immortal evil force." The old man glanced at Zhao Fu and replied, "I understand." Dongfang Yu smiled and said, "I'll leave this place to you." The old man nodded. After Dongfang Yu left, the old man looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "What can you do?" Zhao Fu chuckled and said, "Can I take a look first?" The old man frowned. "Then look. If there's anything, you can look for me directly. If there's nothing, don't disturb me. I have a lot of things to do now." Zhao Fu nodded with a smile. After the old man left, Zhao Fu looked at the people around him and felt that it was quite funny. They did not understand much about the power of the evil immortal. A beautiful woman in white robes with a graceful figure called out unhappily when she saw Zhao Fu's expression. "What are you laughing at?" Zhao Fu felt quite surprised and looked at the beautiful woman as he replied, "Can I laugh a little?" The woman was called Dongfang Shui, and she said bluntly, "We're working so hard here for the sake of the Eastern Alliance. What's so funny about it? Do you know the difficulties that the Eastern Alliance is facing? Do you know how much help will be to the Eastern Alliance if we succeed?" Zhao Fu chuckled, "But I don't feel like you made any progress." Dongfang Shui said, "Even so, you can't laugh. You're tarnishing our hard work." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "All right, I won't laugh." Dongfang Shui said angrily, "You said you wouldn't laugh, so why are you laughing?" Zhao Fu said as he lightly laughed, "I'm not laughing at you, so why can't I laugh? Also, I'm also here for the sake of the Eastern Alliance." Dongfang Shui crossed her arms and said, "Then let's see what you're capable of." Zhao Fu said, "Watch closely. I'm more useful than all of you anyway." Everyone was enraged by his words, and they all looked at Zhao Fu angrily, as if he was insulting them. Dongfang Shui said, "All right, I'll watch and see how you do your research. If you can't, then I'll teach you a lesson." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Dongfang Shui coldly harumphed and was just about to leave. Zhao Fu said, "I need a separate room to do my research." Dongfang Shui said with displeasure, "Why can you have a separate room?" At this moment, the elderly man looked at Zhao Fu and said, "Give him a separate room." Hearing the elders speak, Dongfang Shui glared at Zhao Fu and didn't say anything else. A few people helped Zhao Fu prepare a room, and Zhao Fu put on an act and asked for a lot of materials before starting to research them. Dongfang Shui looked at Zhao Fu's room and decided to come back in a few days to see how he would retort. On the third day, Zhao Fu lazily walked out of his room. Zhao Fu had slept in his room for the past 3 days, so in the eyes of everyone else, he had been doing research for 3 days. Dongfang Shui was the first to provoke Zhao Fu. How was it? Weren't you supposed to be very powerful? Did you manage to find anything? Zhao Fu looked at her and smiled as he said, "What will you do if I manage to find a way to counter the evil immortal?" Dongfang Shui didn't believe that Zhao Fu would be able to find anything in such a short period of time. She said, "Whatever you say." Zhao Fu chuckled. "All right then," Dongfang Shui said, "if your research doesn't succeed, then you'll be my slave from now on and listen to all of my orders." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Sure." Dongfang Shui said, "Show me the results of your research right now." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "After 3 days of research, I've discovered a type of power that can counter the evil immortal, and it's quite effective." Everyone's gazes fell upon Zhao Fu, feeling quite surprised. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would really be able to find something in just 3 days. The elder walked over with a serious expression and asked, "What type of power?" A confident smile appeared on Zhao Fu's face as he took out a platinum-colored orb of light and replied, "It's this type of power." The elder stretched out his hand and grabbed the orb of light into his hand before walking to a table at the side. On the table was a palm-sized blood-red stone that gave off an evil twisting power. This was an evil immortal stone, and it contained evil immortal power. Everyone gathered over curiously, wanting to see what effects it had. The elder tossed the orb of light forward, and the platinum-colored orb of light flew towards the blood-colored stone. Sensing this, the blood-colored stone immediately gave off a blood-colored aura. The platinum-colored orb of light shined on the blood-colored aura, causing it to quickly dissipate. Chapter 2985, Volume 1, Chapter 425, Battle. This really was useful. Seeing this scene, everyone felt quite delighted. Even though they did not know how effective it was, they could tell that this power was indeed useful. Dongfang Shui frowned and had a bad premonition. The elder controlled the orb of light to continue flying towards the stone. The orb of light flew into the stone, and the stone gave off a blood-red aura, as well as a white-gold light. After a while, the stone became an ordinary stone, and it did not give off any evil immortal power, nor did it have the power of the orb of light. The elder smiled. This power can indeed counter evil immortals. Even though it's not very effective, it's not bad. This is a great improvement. Everyone else smiled. Even though they had not been the ones to develop this power, they were still quite happy. Dongfang Shui felt quite complicated. She was happy that she had developed a power that countered evil immortals, but the person who had done this was someone she hated. Moreover, she had an agreement with him. The elder smiled as he looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "What kind of power is this?" Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "This power is formed by fusing moon power and sun power through special methods. The power of the evil immortal was originally related to the 8th sun source. The power of the 8th sun could restrain the power of the evil immortal and could also strengthen the power of the evil immortal. It mainly depended on how it was used. The power of the moon was a power that opposed the power of the sun, so it could also restrain the evil immortal." The elder smiled as he nodded. "You've done a great service. Come with me to meet the Lord." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Yes." Dongfang Yu looked at Zhao Fu in delight as she said, "I never thought that you'd gain something so quickly." Zhao Fu said humbly, "Thank you for your appreciation, sir." Dongfang Yu said with a smile, "How was that power created? Cover it up for me. I'll report this matter to Attendant Tian, and Attendant Tian will report this matter to the Alliance Master. If the Alliance Master values this power, you'll be greatly rewarded. Becoming an attendant should not be an issue." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, Thank you, sir. Zhao Fu took out a crystal containing sun power and a crystal containing moon power. Using a secret technique, he fused the two powers together and produced a white gold ball of light. Dongfang Yu nodded with a smile and said, "All right, wait for my news here. I'll immediately report this matter to the higher-ups." "Yes," Zhao Fu and the old man answered. Dongfang Yu came to a large hall and bowed to a fat young man. "Sir, I've done what you asked me to do." The chubby young man's name was Dongfang Fei, and he smiled as he said, "Is that so? Show it to me." Dongfang Yu took out a platinum-colored orb of light and an evil immortal stone and fused the two together, causing numerous blood-red auras to emerge from the stone. Dongfang Fei smiled as he said, "This power is indeed quite effective. If you and I go to meet the Alliance Master, she'll be quite happy." Following this, Dongfang Fei brought Dongfang Yu to an exquisite room where an ugly woman sat. She was the 8th Alliance Master, Dongfang Ye. Dongfang Fei smiled as he said, "Alliance Master, we've already developed a power that counters the evil immortals, and it's quite effective." Dongfang Ye felt quite surprised and asked, "What power?" Dongfang Fei looked at Dongfang Yu. Dongfang Yu came up and started to explain this power. After seeing Dongfang Yu's display, Dongfang Ye smiled as she said, "This power is quite useful to the Eastern Alliance. You've all contributed greatly." Dongfang Fei smiled as he said, "This is what we should do." Dongfang Ye smiled as she said, "This power is quite basic, and I need to research it a bit. Perhaps it'll be quite effective against the evil immortals, and we'll have another way to deal with them in the future." Dongfang Fei nodded. "We'll go now and not disturb the Alliance Master." The two of them left the room. Dongfang Fei smiled as he said, "Looks like the Alliance Master is quite satisfied with this power. You've done a great service, so I'll reward you." Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, "Thank you, sir." Following this, Dongfang Yu returned to her room and looked at Zhao Fu and the elder, who were waiting. She happily smiled as she said, "The Alliance Master is quite satisfied with this power. Lord Attendant Tian has given me many rewards, and Dongfang Jun, I'll now give you the position of attendant." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Thank you, sir." Dongfang Yu looked at the elder and said, "Elderly, even though your research was not successful, you've worked hard. I'll reward you later." The elder smiled as he said, "It's our honor to be able to research and counter the evil immortals. The rewards are not important. We just hope that we'll be able to play an important role in dealing with the evil immortals in the future." Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, What they did not know was that the evil immortals were right next to them. Moreover, the power seemed to be able to counter the evil immortals' power, but it was completely ineffective against Zhao Fu. It could not be forgotten that Zhao Fu had 8 pure days source energy and 12 pure months source energy. The elder and Zhao Fu returned to the secret room, and the elder's attitude towards Zhao Fu became much more courteous. He stood on the stage and announced, "Dongfang Jun's research has caught the Alliance Master's attention, and he has been promoted to attendant. Everyone, congratulations." Hearing that they had received the Alliance Master's attention, everyone happily and vigorously clapped. The old man continued, "We've worked hard for this research as well. Lord Deacon will give us a good reward later." Everyone became even more excited and enthusiastic. Dongfang Shui was a little depressed as she looked at Zhao Fu with her beautiful eyes. She found that she had underestimated Zhao Fu far too much. If she had known that this would happen, she wouldn't have made that agreement with him. She hoped that he would forget about that agreement. After a brief celebration, everyone left the secret room. Now that their research had been successful, there was no need for them to stay there any longer. Dongfang Shui also wanted to blend into the crowd and leave. She was thinking that she would never see Zhao Fu again. "Are you trying to run away?" A voice sounded out from behind Dongfang Shui. Dongfang Shui immediately turned to Zhao Fu and said, "I'm not." Zhao Fu smiled as he asked, "Then why are you leaving?" Dongfang Shui explained, "I have something to do, so can I leave for a bit?" Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "No problem, you can leave. Remember our agreement." Dongfang Shui was a little surprised. I didn't think that Zhao Fu would let her leave. Most importantly, he didn't make things difficult for her. Dongfang Shui wanted to ask Zhao Fu about it, but Zhao Fu had already left by himself. Right now, he was in a hurry to accept the position of administrator and did not have time to waste on Dongfang Shui. As such, he did not bicker with her about this matter. Chapter 2986, Volume 1, Chapter 426. Battle. The news of Zhao Fu becoming a human deacon quickly spread. Dongfang, who looked quite confused, he had underestimated Zhao Fu too much. Before, he had thought that Zhao Fu would become an existence on the same level as him, but Zhao Fu had surpassed him so quickly. How long had it been since Zhao Fu had joined the Eastern Alliance? This was simply too fast. Perhaps one day, he would become a Heaven Deacon or even the Alliance Master of the Eighth Alliance. Dongfang, who looked quite excited. At that moment, 3 people came over. They were Dongfang Mi and the other 2, and it was evident that they had also received the news. Dongfang, who smiled as he said, "You're here too." Dongfang Mi smiled as he nodded. "I never thought that after celebrating him becoming a head deacon a few days ago, he would become a human deacon." Dongfang, who said with a smile, "I didn't think of that either. He probably won't be a deacon for too long. I think he'll become a deacon soon." Dongfang Wu was quite shocked as he said, "That's right." Dongfang, who smiled as he said, "Yes, I have a feeling." Dongfang Rong said, "It's rare for a human deacon to be appointed like this. I wonder what he did to suddenly become a human deacon." Dongfang, who replied, "It seems that he researched an effective way to counter the evil immortal's power, so he made an exception and promoted him to a human deacon. Otherwise, how could he have done it so quickly?" Dongfang Rong felt quite surprised. "I never thought that he would have such an ability." Dongfang, who smiled as he said, "Since everyone is here, let's go congratulate him." The 3 of them nodded. Dongfang Ku looked quite surprised. Even though he had expected that Zhao Fu would become a human deacon very quickly and had wanted to get on good terms with Zhao Fu, he had never thought that Zhao Fu would rise up so quickly. Dongfang Ku had investigated Zhao Fu's identity and found that it was quite mysterious. He had been introduced by Dongfang Hu, so he wondered if Dongfang Hu knew who he was. However, it most likely had nothing to do with the evil immortal. Otherwise, he would not have researched an effective way to counter the evil immortal's power. Dongfang Ku felt quite uneasy about Zhao Fu rising up so quickly, as if something big was about to happen. A ferocious-looking young man frowned. He was called Dongfang Li, and he was a deacon. The person who Zhao Fu had rewarded last time was one of his people. He had been thinking about how to take revenge on Zhao Fu, but he had never thought that Zhao Fu's status would rise so quickly. Now that Zhao Fu's status was the same as his, it would be quite difficult for him to make a move against Zhao Fu. Moreover, Zhao Fu had just made a great contribution, so it would not be good for him to act. However, he did not want to endure this. He would not be wrong. Within a hall, Dongfang Bai's expression was quite serious. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would rise so quickly. No matter if it was status or power, he could not compare to Zhao Fu at all. Why did he have to bring Dongfang Qing and her mother back? Within a hall, Dongfang Bai looked quite serious. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would rise up so quickly. No matter if it was status or power, he could not compare to Zhao Fu at all. Why did he have to bring Dongfang Qing and her mother back? Seeing her little brother like this, Dongfang Hanyue comforted him, saying, "Don't think too much about that woman. Big Sis will take revenge for you." Even though he's a human deacon, his cultivation is only at the Emperor Heaven realm, so it will be quite easy to deal with him. However, let's wait for things to settle down first. 1 week passed. Many people came to Zhao Fu's residence to congratulate him. Being a human deacon was a great advantage, and if one wanted to become a great deacon, one had to be acknowledged by a human deacon. As such, everyone naturally wanted to curry favor with Zhao Fu. Facing everyone's attempts to curry favor with him, Zhao Fu did not reject them. After all, this would be of great benefit to him. Zhao Fu started to use his authority to ask about the bronze shard, but he was unable to find any information. Perhaps Zhao Fu's status was still too low, If he became an Earth Deacon, he would be able to obtain even more high-level information. Becoming an Earth Deacon was much more difficult than becoming a human deacon. Under normal circumstances, it would only be possible to become an Earth Deacon every 100 years or so, and one also needed to make great contributions and receive the favor of a Heaven Deacon. Only then would one be able to become an Earth Deacon. How is Zhao Fu going to make a great contribution? He had to make even more contributions than this time, as he was going to become an Earth Deacon. If he didn't make great contributions, he would not be able to become an Earth Deacon. Moreover, Zhao Fu could not participate in matters related to the evil immortal. If he did anything related to the evil immortal, people would become suspicious of Zhao Fu's background. Right now, the most important thing was how to make great contributions. Zhao Fu did not have any information on how to do this for now. Zhao Fu received an order to head to a certain region to take care of some matters. Zhao Fu was now a human deacon, and the only ones who could give him orders were Earth Deacons and Heaven Deacons. Zhao Fu didn't object to this at all. He obeyed the order and headed to the Sixth Alliance, which was the territory of the Sixth Alliance. After walking into a forest, two figures appeared in front of and behind Zhao Fu. One was Dongfang Hanyue, the other was Dongfang Li. Both of them were Soul Realm experts, and so Zhao Fu wasn't afraid at all. Although he probably wouldn't be able to defeat Soul Realm experts, escaping shouldn't be a problem. Dongfang Hanyue looked at Zhao Fu with her beautiful eyes. You're quite confident. You're able to remain so calm, even when surrounded by the two of us. Zhao Fu said with a smile. I don't think I know the two of you. What business do you have with me? Dongfang Li said coldly. You've forgotten already, kid? Whose people did you beat up earlier? Zhao Fu suddenly remembered what had happened at the gambling den. Laughing, he said, so that's what it was about. I was a bit rash. I'm willing to pay for your losses. Dongfang Li laughed coldly. Do you think I'll let you off just like that? Zhao Fu asked, what do you want? Dongfang Li laughed coldly. I want you to kneel down, apologize to me, and cripple your own arms. If you do that, I can forget about this matter. Dongfang Hanyue said, my demands aren't too high. Just apologize to my little brother and bring that mother and daughter pair back in one piece. Zhao Fu let out a soft laugh. And if I refuse? Dongfang Li said coldly, you're courting death. We'll help you. Dongfang Hanyue tried to persuade him. I don't want to take your life. So long as you agree to my demands, I'll immediately leave. As for anything else, I won't care. Zhao Fu laughed softly. Sorry, I refuse. Dongfang Li let out a cold snort, and a surge of powerful energy emanated from his body. Zhao Fu immediately prepared to use his energy to flee this region. Boom! An enormous black shadow suddenly fell from the sky, causing the ground to shake violently. Rubble flew everywhere, and countless clouds of dust filled the air, interrupting Dongfang Li and Zhao Fu. When the dust settled, an enormous stone golem appeared. It was oval-shaped, had a single square-shaped eye, and had bug-like legs. It was the stone golem that Zhao Fu had discarded. Chapter 2987. Book 1, Chapter 427. Attack. Zhao Fu had a look of surprise on his face. He hadn't expected to run into him here. Dongfang Hanyue and Dongfang Li both had strange looks on their faces as well. They didn't know why this thing had appeared here. The stone golem stared at Zhao Fu with one eye, clearly quite happy. Although Zhao Fu didn't want him, he still greatly approved of Zhao Fu. He instinctively felt a sense of familiarity with him. Little Stone, was he your original master? A little girl's voice rang out. There was another little girl seated on the stone golem's head. The stone golem nodded happily. The little girl looked at Zhao Fu with curiosity in her eyes. She is quite curious about the person who created Little Stone. She also doesn't understand why Zhao Fu would abandon Little Stone, given how obedient he is. She's a bit unhappy about this. Dongfang Li stared at the little girl who had just appeared, then said coldly, Child, hurry up and F***CK off. Dongfang Hanyue just stood there, not saying anything. Hearing this, the little girl said rather angrily, How can you speak to me like that? You have no manners at all. Dongfang Li let out a cold snort. If you don't F***CK off, I'm going to kill you. I don't want to waste any more time. You can die with him. The little girl called out angrily, I'm going to tell my mother. Dongfang Li didn't say anything. His body transformed into a streak of light as he charged towards the little girl. Seeing Dongfang Li charge towards her, the little girl called out in fear, Little stone, hurry up and run. The stone golem immediately began to run backwards. He was quite fast, but against a Soul Realm expert, he was still a bit too slow. Dongfang Li caught up to the little girl, then clawed towards her with a cold streak of light. At this moment, Zhao Fu attacked. He waved his hand, causing many chains to shoot out, quickly binding Dongfang Li's body. Dongfang Li's body twisted for a moment. He was slightly surprised to find that he was actually unable to break free from these chains. And then, Dongfang Li exploded out with a surge of power, shattering all of the chains, causing them to fly everywhere. Zhao Fu then reached out with his other hand, causing a surge of power to surge out, forming an enormous arm that clawed towards Dongfang Li. Bang! Dongfang Li grabbed out with his hand, bringing out a massive arc of light that tore the arm apart. He looked at Zhao Fu and said with a cold smile, Didn't you want her to die? Am I supposed to kill him in front of you? Soon, Dongfang Li caught up to the little girl and clawed at her. Just as Dongfang Li was about to grab the little girl, a figure appeared before him. With a wave of his hand, the figure sent Dongfang Li flying and coughed out a mouthful of blood. Dongfang Li stopped in his tracks and looked ahead in fear. A beautiful middle-aged woman wearing an azure palace dress with her hair coiled up appeared in the air, giving off an extremely powerful aura. Looking at the beautiful woman, the little girl happily called out, Mother! The beautiful woman nodded with a warm smile. Dongfang Li and Dongfang Hanyue recognized the beautiful woman in front of them. Her name was Dongfang Mei, and she was a heaven executor of the Sixth Alliance who had reached the peak of the Tao realm. Thinking of what had just happened, Dongfang Li hurriedly knelt on the ground. Sir, I'm sorry, I didn't know she was your daughter. Dongfang Mei looked at Dongfang Li and said, If I hadn't appeared just now, do you know what the consequences would have been? Dongfang Li thought for a moment before chopping out with his hand, sending out an arc of light that chopped off that arm. Blood quickly flowed out, and Dongfang Li endured the pain and said, I willingly accept my punishment. Please spare me this time, my lord. Dongfang Mei frowned. I'll spare you this time, but if there's a next time, I'll kill you. Dongfang Li let out a sigh of relief and hurriedly said, Thank you, my lord. Right now, even if Dongfang Mei killed him, the Eighth Alliance wouldn't react at all. This was all his fault, and it was all because of him. The Eighth Alliance wouldn't make things difficult for a heaven executor over a puny human executor. Dongfang Li didn't dare to stay here any longer, and he quickly flew away. Dongfang Hanyue glanced at Zhao Fu and understood that it wasn't likely that she would teach Zhao Fu a lesson. She bowed towards Dongfang Mei and said, My lord, I'm leaving as well. After the two of them left, Dongfang Mei hugged the little girl and said softly, Don't run around in the future. Do you know how dangerous it was just then? The little girl was called Dongfang Xiao, and she giggled as she said, I understand, mother. Dongfang Mei lovingly rubbed Dongfang Xiao's head. Dongfang Xiao happily smiled as she said, Mother, I found the previous owner of the little rock. Dongfang Mei felt quite surprised. Really? She knew that the rock monster was a different kind of life form and had terrifying power. The person who created it would also be incredibly powerful, and she had always wondered what sort of person could create the rock monster. Dongfang Xiao smiled as she pointed, It's him. Dongfang Mei looked at Zhao Fu and asked caringly, Are you the little rock's owner? Or did you create the little rock? Zhao Fu didn't want to reveal his identity, so he replied, I'm its previous owner, not its creator. Dongfang Mei lightly nodded. She knew that it was impossible for Zhao Fu to be the little rock's creator. After all, Zhao Fu was only an Emperor Heaven Realm cultivator, so how could he have such terrifying power? The little rock walked over and lay on the ground, affectionately looking at Zhao Fu with one eye. Dongfang Xiao said with some jealousy, Looks like the little rock really likes him. Even the little rock doesn't treat me like this. Dongfang Mei smiled as she comforted. You've only been with the little rock for a few days, while the little rock's previous owner might have been together for 10 or so years. How could their relationship be replaced by someone else? Dongfang Xiao nodded and did not feel jealous. Dongfang Mei smiled as she asked, How did you and the little rock part? Zhao Fu thought about it before replying, because I offended too many people and did not want it to be in any danger, so I left it there. Dongfang Mei continued to ask, Do you still want to take it back? Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, It's best for it to stay by Sir's side. I don't want to take it back, so we'll take good care of it. Dongfang Mei smiled and nodded. That's right. I still haven't asked you who you are. Why did those two people stop you? Zhao Fu replied, I'm called Dongfang Jun, and I'm an administrator of the 8th Alliance. Because I have some conflict with those two people, they stopped me to take revenge. Dongfang Mei asked in surprise, You're an Emperor Heaven Realm cultivator and an administrator? Zhao Fu nodded and gave a simple explanation of how to become a deacon. Dongfang Mei smiled as she said, So it was you who researched the power to counter the evil immortals. Our Alliance Master mentioned this before. Come back with me. Zhao Fu had come to the 6th Alliance for some business, so he did not refuse. Chapter 2988, Volume 1, Chapter 428. Battle at the top of the hall. A benevolent-looking old man looked at Zhao Fu and asked, You're the person who researched how to restrain the evil immortal's power? The old man's name was Dongfang Xiao, and he was the 6th Alliance Master. He was one of the more powerful people in the Eastern Alliance. He had a good personality and was liked and respected by many. Zhao Fu nodded. Dongfang Xiao smiled and continued to ask, How did you discover that power could restrain the evil immortal? Zhao Fu thought for a moment before replying, Because I possess sun power and moon power, so I'm more sensitive to the evil immortal's power. That's why I fused that power. Dongfang Xiao nodded. Your Alliance Master, Dongfang Ye, relied on the power you researched to create an even more powerful power that would be able to deal enough damage to the evil immortal. Zhao Fu asked in concern, What kind of power is that? Dongfang Xiao smiled and said, It's fine to tell you. It's a power formed by fusing a trace of sun power and a trace of moon power. Zhao Fu inwardly chuckled. Are you sure it would be able to deal damage to me? He's an innate sun god and the 13th moon immortal. Zhao Fu smiled and said, With such powerful powers, it would definitely be able to kill the evil immortal. Although he knew that it would not be effective, Zhao Fu still put on an act. Dongfang Xiao said with a smile, Don't underestimate the evil immortal. Moreover, those two source powers are not pure. Pure source powers can only be found on the sun and the moon. Our Eastern Alliance is currently negotiating with those two powers in order to obtain pure source powers. The power produced by fusing the two pure powers would be more than 10 times stronger. Although it wouldn't be able to kill the evil immortal, it might be able to heavily injure him. Zhao Fu nodded. I believe in the Alliance. Dongfang Xiao smiled and said, That pure source power is extremely precious. It won't be easy for our Eastern Alliance to obtain it. Both the 12 moons and the 8 moons have extremely powerful existences, so it's not good for us to obtain it by force. Dongfang Mei asked from the side. After the 12 moons ascended, they became half immortals. I can understand that we can't provoke them, but why can't we offend a small 8-sun shrine? Dongfang Xiao said with a light laugh. You still don't know, but there are still many goddesses left on the sun. They are people from the 8-sun god era, and the power they possess is unimaginable. Dongfang Mei exclaimed, A goddess from so long ago still exists? Dongfang Xiao nodded and said with a smile, They can extend their lifespans through maturation and sealing. Moreover, they are living creatures born from the sun and have an extremely long lifespan. I'm afraid that they'll still be alive even after I die of old age. Dongfang Mei said, I underestimated them. Something flashed through Zhao Fu's mind. Wasn't he the leader of 2 forces? No one would have thought of this. If he went to the 2 factions to ask for source energy, it would be incredibly easy. He said, I know people from the 2 factions. Can I go to the two factions on behalf of the alliance? Dongfang Qiu smiled and said, there's no need. We've already sent someone to negotiate with them. If they fail, you can give a try. Zhao Fu thought about it and nodded. Dongfang Qiu looked at Zhao Fu and suddenly asked, why are you always wearing a cloak? Is it inconvenient for you? Zhao Fu thought about it and felt that wearing a cloak was a little suspicious. As such, he took off the cloak, revealing a flawless face that looked like that of a peerless male god. Dongfang Qiu said with a light laugh, so that's the reason. I thought there was some other reason. Dongfang Mei looked quite entranced. She had never thought that Zhao Fu would be so good-looking. Zhao Fu said, it's precisely because of this reason that I don't want to reveal my appearance. Dongfang Qiu said, what's your current position in the 8th Alliance? Zhao Fu replied, I'm a human deacon. Dongfang Qiu nodded and said, if you don't want to stay in 8th Alliance, you can come to the 6th Alliance. I'll welcome you. For an alliance master to say such words to a human deacon, it could be said that he was giving Zhao Fu a lot of face. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, thank you, sir. After leaving the hall, Dongfang Mei looked at Zhao Fu and said, why haven't you put on your cloak yet? Zhao Fu looked at her and put on his cloak as he smiled and said, I haven't thanked you for saving me before. Dongfang Mei smiled as she said, you're welcome. Didn't you come to the 6th Alliance for something? Zhao Fu replied, I came to the 6th Alliance to take a bottle of precious medicinal pills. Dongfang Mei smiled as she said, I'll take you there. You've just come to the 6th Alliance and might not know anything. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, thank you. Following this, Zhao Fu followed Dongfang Mei to a tall building. They had to go through a few identity checks before they could obtain the bottle of medicinal pills. This bottle of medicinal pills was incredibly precious, so a manager had to personally come and get it. By now, the sky had darkened and Zhao Fu was about to leave. Dongfang Mei stopped Zhao Fu and smiled as she said, come to my place. Zhao Fu thought about it and smiled as he nodded. They went to where Dongfang Mei lived. It was a very large building, and Dongfang Qiao and little Shirtu were playing outside. Seeing that Zhao Fu and Dongfang Mei had returned, they were both quite happy. Dongfang Mei had prepared a meal for Zhao Fu and asked Zhao Fu to stay for the night. Zhao Fu did not think too much and agreed. However, late at night, a figure snuck into Zhao Fu's room. Zhao Fu saw that it was Dongfang Mei, and she looked at him with a red face. Zhao Fu wanted to say something. Dongfang Mei walked over. The next day, Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Mei in his arms and smiled as he said, I'm going back. Dongfang Mei looked at Zhao Fu and smiled as she said, why are you going back? Isn't it better to stay here? Zhao Fu said, I'm the deacon of the 8th Alliance, so of course I'm going back. Dongfang Mei smiled as she said, if you stay in the 6th Alliance, I can train you to become an Earth Deacon, and with my protection, you won't be in any danger. However, I'm not sure if you'll join the 8th Alliance. Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Mei and asked, how soon can I become an Earth Deacon? Dongfang Mei thought about it and said, not very long, around 30 years. Zhao Fu lightly laughed. Forget it then. Dongfang Mei leaned against Zhao Fu and said softly, apart from Xiao Er's father, you're the only man who can move my heart. I want you to stay and don't want anything to happen to you. Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Mei and explained, but I have many things to take care of. Also, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Seeing how determined Zhao Fu was, Dongfang Mei did not make things difficult for Zhao Fu and lightly nodded. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I'll come to see you often. Dongfang Mei's face became red as she smiled. Chapter 2989, Volume 1, Chapter 429, Battle After Returning to the 8th Alliance. Zhao Fu gave the pill to Dongfang Yu and told her about the ambush. Dongfang Yu said rather angrily, those two were too bold. They dared to attack you in broad daylight. Zhao Fu asked, my lord, what should I do now? Dongfang Yu said, wait here for a moment. I'll report this matter to Executor Tian. Zhao Fu nodded. An hour later, Dongfang Yu returned and said, Dongfang Li has another Executor Tian protecting him, and his arm was severed because of this. The matter between you and him ends here. He promises that he won't cause trouble for you again. Zhao Fu frowned. Dongfang Yu looked at Zhao Fu's expression and said comfortingly, I know you aren't satisfied, but this is the only outcome. However, Dongfang Hanyue doesn't have Executor Tian protecting her. I'll give you a medallion and leave her to you. Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt slightly better. He said, Thank you, my lord. Dongfang Yu smiled and nodded, then handed Zhao Fu a jade medallion. With this medallion, Zhao Fu would be able to mobilize the others and head towards Dongfang Hanyue's location. Dongfang Hanyue received the news as well. She took Dongfang Bai with her and planned to leave the Sixth Alliance. Within a forest, Zhao Fu and 5 other Soul Realm experts surrounded Dongfang Hanyue. He said with a laugh, The tables have turned. Dongfang Hanyue stared coldly at Zhao Fu. Dongfang Bai said with a hint of anger, This is between the two of us. If you have the ability, come at me. Let my sister go. Zhao Fu said with a cold laugh, I wanted to let you go, but you attacked me instead. I won't be polite either. Dongfang Hanyue said, My little brother doesn't know that I intercepted you. I made the decision myself. Let me go and you can do whatever you want of me. Zhao Fu said with a cold laugh, None of you will be able to escape. Dongfang Hanyue understood that Zhao Fu wouldn't let them go. She immediately unleashed a powerful wave of energy, causing a layer of frost to form around them and causing the surrounding temperature to drop. Dongfang Bai also released a wave of power, intending to fight one last time. Zhao Fu wasn't afraid at all. He said to the 5 spirit realm experts beside him, Capture them. The 5 people also gave off a powerful aura as they charged towards the 2 people. Half an hour later, Dongfang Hanyue and Dongfang Bai were tossed in front of Zhao Fu. Dongfang Bai was already unconscious, while Dongfang Hanyue was heavily injured. Her energy had been sealed as well. Zhao Fu smiled and said to the 5 of them, You guys can leave now. The 5 of them didn't know what Zhao Fu wanted to do, nor did they have any interest in knowing. They only obeyed Zhao Fu's orders. If Zhao Fu told them to leave, they would leave immediately. After the 5 of them left, Zhao Fu squatted down and looked at Dongfang Hanyue, reaching out to pinch her cheek. Dongfang Hanyue said coldly, What do you want? Zhao Fu laughed. To get revenge on you, of course. A few hours later, Dongfang Hanyue lay on the ground, her face flushed red. She looked at Zhao Fu and said, Can you let me and my little brother go now? Zhao Fu laughed. When did I say I would let you go? Dongfang Hanyue cursed angrily, You bastard. Zhao Fu laughed. Many women curse me like that. I'm a bastard. And if you don't behave, I'll make you and your little brother know that you were wrong. Dongfang Hanyue stared angrily at Zhao Fu. Now that they were in Zhao Fu's hands, it was true that Zhao Fu could do anything to them, and they wouldn't be able to resist. Aside from being angry, Dongfang Hanyue couldn't do anything. Right now, she didn't care about anything except her older brother. Dongfang Hanyue stared coldly at Zhao Fu and said, I'm begging you. As long as you let my little brother go, I'll do anything. Zhao Fu laughed. Then come over here and take the initiative. Dongfang Bai slowly woke up. He didn't know what had just happened. He just stared at his older sister, who was standing next to him, her face flushed red. Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Bai and said, You can leave now. Dongfang Bai had a look of surprise on his face. What? Dongfang Hanyue tilted her head, finding it hard to face her little brother. She said, Little brother, don't worry about anything. Just leave now. Seeing Dongfang Hanyue's expression, Dongfang Bai called out angrily, What did you do to my sister? Zhao Fu laughed and was about to speak when Dongfang Hanyue glared at Zhao Fu and said, Nothing. I just made a deal with him. I asked him to let you go just this once. You don't need to worry about me. Dongfang Bai said somewhat disbelievingly. How could he be that kind? Dongfang Hanyue said, Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. You should hurry up and leave. If he goes back on his word, all my efforts will have been for nothing. Dongfang Bai pondered for a moment, then nodded vigorously. Dongfang Hanyue reminded him, Don't come back in the future, and don't even think about opposing him. Once I'm done with him, I'll come find you. Dongfang Bai stared coldly at Zhao Fu, then nodded. Dongfang Hanyue watched Dongfang Bai leave, letting out a sigh of relief in her heart. Thinking back to what had just happened, Dongfang Hanyue angrily hammered Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu said with a laugh, "All right, let's go back together." Dongfang Hanyue didn't reply. Zhao Fu ignored her, carrying her as he flew towards his own residence. Dongfang Qing watched as Zhao Fu returned with a woman in his arms. When she saw the woman, Dongfang Qing was shocked. She asked, "Didn't you promise us?" Zhao Fu laughed as he explained, "You can't blame me for that. They were the ones who came looking for trouble." Dongfang Qing didn't know what to say. She felt rather miserable. Zhao Fu said consolingly, "I let Dongfang Bai go. I didn't do anything to him." Dongfang Qing looked at Zhao Fu. "Is that true?" Zhao Fu nodded with certainty. Dongfang Qing looked at Dongfang Hanyue. "Then what's going on? Why did you bring Dongfang Bai's older sister back?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "She's my woman now. In the future, the two of you need to get along well." Dongfang Qing rolled his eyes at Zhao Fu. "You scoundrel." Dongfang Hanyue looked at Dongfang Qing. Although he was cursing Zhao Fu, a hint of love could be seen in his eyes. There was no possibility between his little brother and Dongfang Qing. She didn't know what ability this bastard Zhao Fu had to make other women fall in love with him. Aside from being a bit handsome, a bit stronger, a bit more talented, a bit more potential, and a bit more formidable in that area, it didn't seem like there was anything special about him. Zhao Fu put down Dongfang Hanyue, no longer paying attention to her. He waited for news from the Eastern Alliance and the Eighth Day Alliance. Logically speaking, the precious quintessence energy shouldn't be given to the Eastern Alliance. Once the news came back, Zhao Fu would represent the Eastern Alliance. If he could acquire 2 types of quintessence energy, Zhao Fu would become an Earth Executor and be able to gather some information. Chapter 2990. Book 1, Chapter 430. Battle Formation. Zhao Fu quickly received news that the 2 factions were not willing to give the source energy to the Eastern Alliance. Now Zhao Fu could go. Dongfang looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Why have you come to find me?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I heard that the Eastern Alliance and the Sun Moon Alliance were unable to obtain the source energy, so I want to go on behalf of the Eastern Alliance." Dongfang lightly laughed as she said, "What's the point of you going?" Zhao Fu said, "I have some acquaintances in both factions. With their help, it should be a bit easier." Dongfang said in surprise, "You have acquaintances in the Sun Moon Alliance? I never expected that. If you're confident that you can obtain the source energy, I can report to the Alliance Master and let you try." Zhao Fu replied, I'm confident." Dongfang smiled as she said, "All right, wait here for a while." Half an hour later, Dongfang smiled as she walked in and said, "Dongfang Jun, come with me. Our 8th Alliance Master wants to see you." Zhao Fu nodded. Zhao Fu followed Dongfang to a large hall where there was an ugly woman sitting. Zhao Fu bowed as he said, "Greetings, Alliance Master." Dongfang smiled as she looked at Zhao Fu. "Last time, you researched the evil immortal's power, and I wanted to see you. It's just that I didn't have the time. If you really can obtain the 2 source energies, I'll make you an Earth Deacon." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Thank you, sir. I'll definitely obtain the source energy." Dongfang smiled as she said, "It's fine if you can't. Those 2 factions don't even want to give face to the Eastern Alliance, so it'll be very difficult for you to obtain it." Zhao Fu pretended to be resolute as he replied, "No matter what difficulties I face, I'll definitely obtain the 2 source energies." Dongfang smiled as she nodded. "Go and try then." Zhao Fu nodded and turned to leave the hall. As she watched Zhao Fu leave, Dongfang said, "Do you think it's possible for him to obtain 2 types of origin powers?" Dongfang thought for a moment. "Although it's extremely difficult to lose him, I think he should be able to do it. If he wasn't confident, he wouldn't have come to me." Dongfang said, "This person is not simple." Dongfang nodded. In such a short period of time, his status has risen so quickly. Furthermore, we haven't found any information about him. It feels very mysterious. Dongfang Yu said with a smile. If he hadn't taken the initiative to research the power to restrain the immortal evil immortal, and if he hadn't gone to the two powers to obtain origin power, I would have suspected that he was that immortal evil immortal. That immortal evil immortal might have arrived at the Eastern Alliance long ago. Dongfang Yu said in shock, I don't think that's possible. Although that kid is a bit lecherous, he doesn't have the evil, twisted, and perverted appearance of the evil immortal. Dongfang Yi said, I only have some suspicions, but I am not certain. The situation now is special, so we cannot agree to anything. Otherwise, there will be irreversible consequences. Dongfang Yu nodded in understanding. After leaving the Eastern Alliance, Zhao Fu first went to the Moon Palace. Within the Moon Palace, Yu Xianzi and the other women looked surprised as they looked at Zhao Fu on a screen of light. They were currently communicating through the Immortal Promotion Plateau, so they could see Zhao Fu. In front of Zhao Fu, there was also a screen of light, so he could see Yu Xianzi and the other women. Moon Saintess said, Why did you suddenly come back? Zhao Fu smiled and said, I came back to get a trace of pure origin moon energy. Moon Saintess rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu. You came back because you had something to do. If you didn't, did you not plan on coming back? Also, don't you have an even more powerful origin moon energy? Why did you come back for it? Zhao Fu thought for a moment and was about to reply. Yu Yao spoke first. Are you in the Eastern Alliance now? Zhao Fu smiled awkwardly and nodded. Yu Yao lightly laughed as she said, The Eastern Alliance's people just left, and you came back to get that origin moon energy. Zhao Fu explained, My origin moon energy has my aura. If I took it back to them, my identity would be exposed, so I came back with that trace of origin moon energy. Moon Saintess asked, When did you go to the Eastern Alliance? Zhao Fu smiled and said, It's nothing, I just want to collect some things. Yu Xinzi looked at Zhao Fu with her beautiful eyes and said, I don't think it's that simple. Don't tell me you're the legendary evil immortal's legatee? Yu Wuxing said in surprise, That's impossible. He doesn't have that evil, crazy, and twisted power. Yu Shumin looked at Zhao Fu and said, That might not necessarily be the case. The women all looked at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu said helplessly, I'm that evil immortal's legatee. Wow. The women all cried out. They had never thought that Zhao Fu had such an identity. They had not seen through it at all, and they knew about the disaster that the evil immortal had caused back then. Moon Saintess said angrily, Are you hiding many things from us? Zhao Fu awkwardly smiled and said, A little, but let's not continue on this topic. Give me a trace of origin moon energy. Moon Saintess lightly harumphed. You still want origin moon energy? In your dreams. I'm not giving it to you. Zhao Fu looked at Yu Xianzi, the mature number 1 moon immortal, and said, Give me a trace of origin moon energy. I'll be very useful. Moon Saintess hurriedly said, Don't give it to him. This fellow is hiding many things from us and playing with our feelings. Yu Yao nodded. If I don't get to the bottom of this, I won't feel comfortable. Zhao Fu said innocently, I did hide some things from you, but I'm not playing with your feelings. I'm sincere towards you. Can't you all feel it? A scene appeared in the women's minds, and their faces turned red as they spat out, Shameless. Zhao Fu felt even more wronged as he said, What are you thinking? Can you blame me for this? Moon Saintess said righteously, Why can't we blame you? You're the one who likes to harm us. You're a scumbag. Zhao Fu let out a breath and looked at the women as he said, Hurry up and give me origin moon energy. Moon Saintess could sense that Zhao Fu was a little angry, and her aura became much weaker. However, she still said, No. Zhao Fu looked at Moon Saintess. Yu Xianzi suddenly said, Forget it. He's helped us so much. Perhaps he has his reasons for not telling us. Let's not make things difficult for him. I'll give you origin moon energy. Moon Saintess nodded. The women did not object. They really did not want to give him origin moon energy. They could ask for as much as he wanted. However, they were somewhat angry that Zhao Fu had hidden many things from them and had lied to them. He had not even told them when he had gone to the land of extreme yang. Yu Xinzi waved her hand, and a pure white thread descended from the sky, giving off a cold origin moon energy. Chapter 2991, Volume 1, Chapter 431. Battle. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and caught the thread. The thread fused together, forming a small orb of light that gave off pure moon energy. Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and said, "Thank you." Yu Xinzi said, "No need to thank us. Also, we can understand that you don't want to tell us about yourself. But in the future, you have to tell us that you're one of our men. I don't want us to become enemies in the future." Zhao Fu fell silent. He was someone from the Heaven-Awakened world, and the Heaven-Awakened world and the outer world were enemies. As such, their relationship with Zhao Fu was also that of enemies. Yu Xinzi looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "What is it?" Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and said, I'll tell you all about it in the future. I'll definitely avoid those things from happening. Also, do you want me to accompany you for a few days?" The women's faces became red, and they all said no. "Bastard, pervert, bad person." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, "I'll go up and accompany you for a few days after I take care of these things." The women all smiled. Even though they said that they did not want Zhao Fu to go up, they actually wanted Zhao Fu to go up. The days with Zhao Fu in the Moon Palace were their happiest days. After obtaining this trace of moon energy, Zhao Fu went to the extreme Yang region. Zhao Fu came in stealthily. If Zhao Fu came in openly, countless people would know that the innate sun god had returned, and that would cause a massive commotion. Zhao Fu also wanted to see what the God Palace had become like. The extreme Yang region had greatly changed, and it was now called a God Bestowment Land. It was covered by a divine light and did not look barren at all. Instead, it was filled with forests and plants. Birds flew in the sky, and beasts could be seen everywhere. Zhao Fu felt that the God Palace's people had unleashed a miracle that had covered the extreme Yang region, which was why the extreme Yang region had changed so much in such a short period of time. He arrived at the shrine. This place was no longer called the Eight Sun Shrine, and the system of 8 shrines had been abolished. Now it was called the Supreme Shrine. There was only one statue, and it only worshipped one god, which was Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stealthily came to the God Palace and looked at the statue of himself and gave a trace of a smile. He waved his hand. An array of light shot towards the statue. The statue gave off a halo, and an image of Ri Ying appeared within it. There was only her. Zhao Fu asked curiously, "Why are you alone?" Ri Ying explained, "They are currently cultivating." Zhao Fu understood that the Supreme Godly Palace was mostly managed by Ri Ying alone, so he smiled and said, "Thank you for your hard work." Ri Ying revealed a smile. "What's wrong?" Suddenly contacting him? Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I need a strand of sun origin energy." Ri Ying replied, "Okay, I'll get it for you now." Ri Ying disappeared from the image. After a while, a small golden ball of light emerged from the statue and flew toward Zhao Fu. Ri Ying reappeared in the image and smiled as she asked, "Is that enough?" Zhao Fu put away the ball of light and smiled as he replied, "It's enough." Ri Ying looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "When are you coming back? We all miss you." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "After I take care of this matter, I'll go back." Ri Ying smiled and nodded. After talking to Ri Ying, Zhao Fu took a few more glances at the extreme Yang region before returning to the Eastern Continent Alliance. Within the palace, Zhao Fu carefully took out 2 orbs of light, one white and one gold, and said, "Alliance Master, I did not let you down and obtained 2 types of source energy." Dongfang Yu looked quite shocked. She had never thought that Zhao Fu would really be able to do it. She could sense the pure source aura that the 2 orbs of light gave off. They were definitely source energy. This sort of power only existed in the sun and moon, and she had never possessed such power before. If it wasn't for the fact that she had to deal with the evil immortal, she would have wanted to absorb these 2 types of source energy. That would have been of great help to her. Dongfang Yu grabbed at the orbs of light and looked at them carefully before smiling as she said, "You've done very well." Normally, It would take an ordinary person decades to become an Earth Deacon, but I'll make you an Earth Deacon and grant you a wish. Zhao Fu wanted to say that he wanted the bronze shard, but that was too suspicious. Zhao Fu definitely could not say it out loud, so he could only say, I don't have any wishes. I just want to serve the Eastern Continent Alliance. Dongfang Yu nodded in satisfaction and said, I saw that you've been wearing your cloak. Why didn't you take it off? Hearing this, Zhao Fu took off his cloak, revealing his perfect face. Dongfang Yu looked at Zhao Fu in surprise. Looking at Zhao Fu's perfect face, Dongfang Yu gave a trace of a smile as she said, Since you don't have any wishes, I'll grant you the privilege of serving me once. Looking at Dongfang Yu's face, Zhao Fu wanted to refuse, but he did not dare to say it out loud, or else he would die a horrible death. Dongfang Yu slightly frowned as she said, What? You're not willing. Zhao Fu hurriedly said, I don't mean that. It's my honor to serve Lord Alliance Master. Dongfang Yu nodded in satisfaction and said, Come here. As such, Zhao Fu could only walk over. Just like that, a few days passed, and Dongfang Yu looked at her beautiful face in the mirror in delight. She had just done it with Zhao Fu and found that Zhao Fu's body had a power that could change her constitution, causing her appearance to change. As such, after pestering Zhao Fu for a few days, her somewhat ugly face had become beautiful. Zhao Fu said somewhat dispiritedly, Lord Alliance Master, can I leave now? Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, You want to leave so soon? I'm quite satisfied with you. You can stay by my side in the future. Zhao Fu said, Alliance Master, I still have things to do. Dongfang Yu said, I don't think you have anything important to do, so you should stay. I want to become more beautiful, and even though I don't have many requirements for my appearance, no woman wants to become ugly. Also, why does your body have this kind of power? Zhao Fu replied, It's a cultivation technique that I cultivate. Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, No wonder Dongfang Yu said that you're quite lustful, so it's because of your cultivation technique. Don't worry, I won't mistreat you. As she spoke, Dongfang Yu pushed Zhao Fu down. A few days later, looking at Dongfang Yu, who had fainted and her face was quite red and beautiful, Zhao Fu felt quite conflicted. While Dongfang Yu was sleeping, Zhao Fu left the hall and accepted the Earth Deacon's appointment. He started to ask around about the bronze shard. As expected, as his status rose, Zhao Fu learned about many things that he had not known before. What surprised Zhao Fu was that there was information about the bronze shard. Chapter 2992, Book 1, Chapter 432. The Eighth Alliance. The Eighth Alliance did indeed have a bronze shard, which had been collected many years ago. It was now in one of the Eighth Alliance's treasury, but Zhao Fu did not know who was in the treasury. After all, the Alliance had many treasury vaults. Zhao Fu only knew this much and did not know anything else. This gave Zhao Fu some hope. If there was a bronze shard here, then his efforts over the past few days would not have been in vain. With Zhao Fu's current status as a deacon, he could not enter that kind of treasury, so it would be best if Zhao Fu became a Deacon Tian. However, it was almost impossible to become a Deacon Tian. Normally, deacons had to be loyal to the Alliance Master for hundreds of years. Moreover, they had to be the Alliance Master's trusted aides, as deacons were the most powerful people apart from the Alliance Master. Zhao Fu thought about how to become a Deacon Tian. If he became a Deacon Tian, would Zhao Fu know which treasury the shard was in and would be able to easily take it out? At that moment, Dongfang Yu walked in and looked at Zhao Fu as she said, I never thought that our Alliance Master would visit you. Zhao Fu did not know what to say. Dongfang Yu looked at Zhao Fu and said, What, are you happy? Even though our Alliance Master's looks are a bit lacking, her strength and status are incomparable. Zhao Fu said, I know. Dongfang Yu asked curiously, Then what are you unhappy about? With the Alliance Master supporting you, you won't have to worry about anything in the future. Zhao Fu replied, It's nothing, I'm just a bit depressed and have some things to worry about. Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, What do you have to worry about? You're already one of the Alliance Master's people. Zhao Fu said, I want to become a Deacon Tian. Dongfang Yu said in surprise, Didn't you just become an Earth deacon? You want to become a deacon so quickly? Do you know how many years it took me to become an Earth deacon? Zhao Fu said, I know it's very difficult, so I'm a bit troubled. Dongfang Yu said, you don't have to be so anxious. Our alliance master has taken a liking to you, and I believe that you will soon become a heaven executor. No one can compare to you in this aspect. Zhao Fu asked, do you have any other ideas? Dongfang Yu shook her head. Deacon Tian must be a trusted aide of the alliance leader. Moreover, the alliance leader must personally appoint him. Normally, without a few hundred years of loyalty, it's impossible to obtain the alliance leader's approval. Zhao Fu sighed and nodded. Dongfang Yu asked, why are you so anxious to become a heaven executor? Zhao Fu thought for a moment, then said, you've helped me so much, so I won't hide it from you. I have a purpose in coming to the Eastern Alliance this time, and that is to find something left behind by my ancestor. I need to become a heaven executor to find out where it is. Seeing that Zhao Fu was willing to believe her, Dongfang Yu smiled as she asked, what is it? Is it that important to you? Zhao Fu replied, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you. Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, it's fine, but you can ask the alliance leader for help. If that thing isn't too valuable, the alliance leader should be able to give it to you. Zhao Fu nodded. Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, I came to congratulate you on becoming an Earth executor, but I never thought that you'd be so worried about becoming a heaven executor. After you become a heaven executor, I'll come and congratulate you. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, thank you. I won't forget the help you've given me. After Dongfang Yu left, she heard that Dongfang Yu had asked her to go over. She felt quite surprised and went to the door of the palace as she reported, Alliance leader, I'm here. Dongfang Yu's voice sounded out. Come in. Hearing this, Dongfang Yu pushed open the door and saw a beautiful woman lazily lying on the bed. Dongfang Yu looked quite surprised. She felt that this woman was both unfamiliar and familiar. Looking at Dongfang Yu's expression, Dongfang Yu lightly smiled as she said, what do you think of my appearance? Only then did Dongfang Yu come back to her senses. You're the alliance leader. Dongfang Yu smiled and nodded. Dongfang Yu hurriedly said, Alliance leader, you're very beautiful now. Dongfang Yu said happily, I'm quite satisfied with my current appearance. Dongfang Yu asked curiously, why did alliance leader's appearance change so much? Dongfang Yu's face became red as she said, it's because of him. There's a type of power within his body that can cause people to go through changes, and it's very beneficial to me. Not only has my appearance changed, but my constitution has also become much stronger. Dongfang Yu said in shock, I never thought that he would have such an ability. Dongfang Yu lightly laughed as she said, you can have him try. Perhaps it'll be effective. Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, I don't need alliance leader. I don't care much about my appearance, and I've decided to wholeheartedly serve alliance leader. Dongfang Yu did not force her and asked, I heard that you just met with him. Is he angry? Dongfang Yu thought about it and replied, he's not angry. He's just a bit depressed. He's currently worried about how to become a heaven executor, and he told me a secret. Dongfang Yu asked, what secret? Dongfang Yu told her what Zhao Fu had said. Dongfang Yu nodded. He obtained 2 types of sun essence energy, and I've enjoyed it for so many days and obtained so many benefits. I've treated him badly this time, so I'll give you a command medallion to let him go into the treasury to choose a treasure. Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, I'm sure he'll be very grateful to Alliance leader. Dongfang Yu's face became slightly red as she said, I hope he'll work hard to serve me in the future. Dongfang Yu bowed and smiled as she said, I'll go down and tell him the good news then. Dongfang Yu said lazily, I'm going to rest for a while. Dongfang Yu brought Dongfang Yu's command medallion to Zhao Fu's room and smiled as she said, I've come to tell you some good news. Zhao Fu asked, what is it? Dongfang Yu took out a jade command medallion and smiled as she said, the alliance leader said that you can go into the treasury to take a treasure, and you can take back your ancestral item. Zhao Fu looked quite confused. He had been worried about this matter and had never thought that it would be resolved so easily. Dongfang Yu lightly laughed as she said, What are you spacing out for? Here's the command medallion, and the alliance leader said that you have to properly serve her in the future. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he received the command medallion and looked at it. This was the command medallion that he had exchanged his body for. This was a command medallion that he had exchanged his body for. Zhao Fu put the command medallion away and said, "Thank you very much. You've helped me this time." Dongfang Yu smiled as she said, "You're welcome. Go and get that ancestral item." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. With this command medallion, things became much simpler for Zhao Fu, and he quickly found out that the fragment was stored in the 7th Void Treasury. Chapter 2993, Volume 1, Chapter 433. Hidden Treasure. The treasury was located in the void and was protected by many formations. Ordinary people would not be able to discover it, and the entrance could only be opened with a token from the Alliance Master. Zhao Fu could not wait to go to the 7th Void Treasury. There was a stone platform on the ground, and there was a Qilin-like creature carved on it. Zhao Fu took out the command medallion and raised it up. The command medallion gave off boundless light, and a large door gradually appeared in the air. It was made of crystal-like material and had some exquisite carvings on it, making it look quite beautiful. The door slowly opened, and Zhao Fu flew in. He came to a very large space that was completely white. The ground and ceiling could clearly reflect one's appearance, and there were all sorts of treasures around, giving off treasure lights. Zhao Fu closed his eyes and released a wave of source energy, and he immediately sensed where the shard was. He walked to a corner and parted the treasures, revealing a palm-sized stone box. Zhao Fu opened it and saw a heavily weathered bronze shard that was 3 fingers wide. This was the largest bronze shard that Zhao Fu had found so far. Looking at this bronze shard, Zhao Fu felt quite delighted. With this bronze shard, Zhao Fu was only 2 more shards away from collecting all of the shards. Zhao Fu smiled and accepted it. He did not look at the other treasures and flew out of the space. Now that he had obtained the bronze shard from Dongfang Ye, Zhao Fu's goal for coming here had been accomplished. Zhao Fu had heard that Dongfang Ye had a bronze shard, and he wondered if the Eastern Alliance had any more. Zhao Fu thought about it and decided to continue asking around. If there were none, he would deal with the evil immortal and leave to find the remaining bronze shards. Zhao Fu came to the palace. By now, Dongfang Ye had recovered her strength, and there was a trace of bitterness in her eyes as she said, "Why did you come to find me now? Didn't you just leave without me?" Zhao Fu said apologetically, "I'm sorry, sir." Dongfang Ye felt much better and said, "There's no one here, so there's no need to call me you." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Sure, next month." Dongfang Ye blushed and said, "Come up here." Zhao Fu understood and walked up, unceremoniously hugging Dongfang Ye. Dongfang Ye snuggled into Zhao Fu's embrace. "I also feel apologetic in my heart for using that method to obtain you. I didn't expect you to not only look so perfect, but also have such abilities." Zhao Fu was no longer as depressed as before. He smiled and said, "Then let's write it off. Don't mention this matter anymore." Dongfang Ye nodded and looked at Zhao Fu. "What business do you have with me again?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I'm here to thank you." Dongfang Ye smiled and said, "No need. Also, how do you collect the bronze fragments?" Hearing this, Zhao Fu was shocked. He did not expect Dongfang Ye to know that he was collecting bronze shards. Dongfang Ye looked at Zhao Fu and said, "In order to prevent people from stealing, the treasury will automatically record every item that is missing or added. It can also save the images within." Zhao Fu did not know that the treasury had such a function. Did that mean that his identity had been discovered? Zhao Fu's expression became somewhat serious. Dongfang Ye lightly smiled and said, "I've discovered your secret." Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Ye and said, "Since you know my secret, why are you still treating me like this?" Dongfang Ye smiled and said, "Why not? Whether it is in terms of looks, power, or ability, you're the most outstanding man in the world. Which woman will be moved by you?" Zhao Fu asked, "What do you plan to do now?" Dongfang Ye smiled and said, I'll help you collect the bronze fragments. You don't have to worry about this in the future. Also, just who was your ancestor, and why did he have a bronze fragment of that level? Zhao Fu could not answer because he had made up this story. Dongfang Yi looked at Zhao Fu and said, I've already planned to help you collect those bronze fragments, so why aren't you willing to tell me? I'm a little angry. Zhao Fu took in a deep breath and said, I don't know how to say it. Dongfang Yi said confusedly, Why can't I say it? I know that your identity is not ordinary, but I thought that my identity would be good enough for you, right? Zhao Fu asked curiously, Don't you already know my identity? Dongfang Yi slightly frowned and said, Do I know your identity? Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Yi and felt even more confused. If she knew that he had a bronze fragment, then his identity as the son of Origin would definitely be exposed. However, why was Dongfang Yi like this? Could it be that he had misunderstood something? Dongfang Yi pinched Zhao Fu's chin and said, Are you hiding something from me? Zhao Fu smiled and said, No, I thought that you already knew my identity, so I didn't have to say it. Dongfang Yi lightly harumphed and said, You didn't reveal anything, and I don't know what that bronze fragment is. How could I know your identity? Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt at ease. Dongfang Yi had not discovered his identity, nor had she connected this bronze fragment to the Son of Origin. In actuality, there were countless bronze fragments in the world, and one could even pick one up on the streets. Most people would not be able to connect it to the Son of Origin. Zhao Fu smiled and said, I come from a secretive family, and my family has decreed that I cannot reveal my identity, or else I will be severely punished. I'm worried that you will be affected, and now that you're my woman, I don't want that to happen. Dongfang Yi's face became red, and her heart raced as she hugged Zhao Fu and asked, Is that so? Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Yi and thought that women in love were the easiest to deceive, and he smiled and said, Dongfang Yi smiled and said, Then I won't ask anymore. When are you going to tell your family about me? I don't want you to keep this a secret forever. Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, I'll immediately tell them. If I collect all of the bronze fragments, I'm sure they won't stop you from being with me. When that time comes, I'll take you back to my family to have a look. Dongfang Yi sweetly smiled as she said, I'll help you collect them as soon as possible. Looking at how sweet Dongfang Yi looked, Zhao Fu wondered if he was being too despicable. Was he a scumbag who cheated others? However, since Dongfang Yi had helped him so much, Zhao Fu definitely would not harm her in the future and would do his best to help her. Moreover, if she was willing, Zhao Fu would not mind having her as his woman. Dongfang Yi's face became red as she said seductively, Husband. Zhao Fu understood what she meant. Chapter 2994. Book 1, Chapter 434. Ancient Ruins. Even though Dongfang Yi had not found the bronze shard, she had obtained some information about it. One of them was in the evil, immortal chaos world. The evil, immortal chaos world was where the evil immortal had died. That terrifying power had cut apart space and formed an independent space. Now, this space was not only sealed, but it was also extremely dangerous inside. Even higher beings did not dare to casually enter. Back then, a higher being had a bronze shard. He believed that it was a shard of a supreme weapon and had always been very precious. He had died in that catastrophe, and a shard had been left in the evil, immortal chaos world. Dongfang Yu felt quite troubled. Normally, she could bring Zhao Fu in, but now was a special time. If he wanted to enter the evil, immortal chaos world, he had to get permission from the other 11 Alliance Masters. She could not enter by herself. Dongfang Yu looked at Zhao Fu and said, We can only wait for a while. I'll bring you into the evil, immortal chaos world. Zhao Fu asked, How long do we have to wait? Dongfang Yu replied, I'm not sure. If the evil, immortal matter has not passed, we will not be able to enter. Zhao Fu asked, Is there no other way to enter the evil, immortal, chaotic world? Dongfang Yu thought about it and said, There is, but it's very dangerous. Zhao Fu asked, What is it? Dongfang Yu said, The person who sealed the evil, immortal, chaos world was the previous Alliance Master. They only sealed a few main entrances. Some spatial cracks were not sealed, and we can enter through those small cracks. Those small cracks are extremely well hidden, and we cannot find them. Moreover, if we enter through the cracks, our bodies might be torn apart by space, and the evil immortal aura that surges out can cause people to go crazy. Zhao Fu nodded. Leave this to me. Dong Fangyu rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, even with my strength, I do not dare to be careless. How can I leave it to you? Zhao Fu replied, don't worry about this. I can protect myself. Also, tell me the location of the evil immortal chaos world and how to find the spatial cracks. Dong Fangyu thought about it and said, all right, but promise me that if there is any danger, come back immediately and don't force your way in. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Dong Fangyu told Zhao Fu about the evil immortal chaos world, and Zhao Fu immediately left to find the evil immortal chaos world. According to the information that Dong Fangyu had given him, Zhao Fu came to a barren land. This was where the evil immortal chaos world was located, and it was quite remote. The front of the evil immortal chaos world was guarded by the Eastern Alliance's experts, and Zhao Fu was only going to the side. Zhao Fu had to avoid them, or else Zhao Fu would be captured. No, even if Zhao Fu whirled, he Zhao Fu won. Zhao 2. Zhao God. Fong 2 Kings, Zhao, Chun Kings World Cities. It was quite difficult to find small cracks, as they could appear and disappear at any time. They only lasted for a short period of time, and they were difficult to sense. Zhao Fu found a place and sat cross-legged on the ground. He planned to use the evil immortal's power to sense the cracks. He thought that the evil immortal chaos world had been formed after the evil immortal had died, so it would be easier for him to use the evil immortal's power. However, Zhao Fu was disappointed. Zhao Fu sensed a massive sealing power, and he was unable to break through it with his power. He could sense the evil immortal chaos world. That sealing power was most likely where the evil immortal chaos world was sealed. Now, Zhao Fu felt quite troubled. If the evil immortal's power was useless, how was he supposed to find the cracks? Apart from obtaining the bronze shards, Zhao Fu also wanted to see if there was anything left behind at the place where the evil immortal had died. This was quite important to Zhao Fu. After all, he was the evil immortal's legatee. Zhao Fu left this place and tried in other places, but the results were the same. Suddenly, Zhao Fu sensed something and his body immediately turned into nothingness. A few people came. They were the patrol team, and there were 5 of them. The captain was a Dao realm expert, and the team members were all spirit realm experts. The leader was a cold-looking young man, and he looked around curiously. A woman beside him asked, "What is it?" The cold-looking young man replied, "I sensed some energy ripples here, but I didn't find anything." The pretty-looking woman looked around and said curiously, "Are you being too sensitive? I didn't sense anything, and there aren't any ripples here." The cold-looking young man said, "This is a special time, so we have to be careful. We definitely can't let anyone get close, especially that evil immortal, or else the consequences will be severe." The pretty-looking woman asked, "I've always been curious. What's inside the evil immortal chaos world? Why is it so heavily guarded?" The cold-looking young man replied, "I'm not sure, and the Alliance leader and the others don't seem to know much either. They just followed the previous Alliance leader's orders to guard this place tightly. I think there might be something important to the evil immortal or something that could threaten the Eastern Alliance." The pretty-looking woman nodded, "I understand." Another, slightly skinny man asked, "Do you think the evil immortal has come to our Eastern Alliance? It's been quite some time since he last appeared, so why hasn't there been any news at all?" The pretty-looking woman thought for a while. "I think that the evil immortal is definitely hiding somewhere, planning his revenge." The slightly skinny man said worriedly, "That evil immortal's bloodline has already reached the final stage. Even if he's right in front of us, we won't know. I feel that our patrols won't be of any use." The cold-looking young man said, "Regardless of whether it's useful or not, we have to guard this place tightly and not give the evil immortal any chance. They didn't know that Zhao Fu was hiding beside them without them noticing at all. Zhao Fu watched them leave, and his body reappeared. Zhao Fu started to think about what he should do next. He could not sense where the crack was, so he could only wait somewhere. However, this method would take a long time, and it was possible that he would not be able to find anything even if he waited for a long time. However, this was the only method, so Zhao Fu decided to wait a bit. If it really didn't work, then he would look for other methods. Time passed bit by bit, and Zhao Fu spent 9 days waiting nonstop at 3 different locations. He spent 3 days waiting at each location, but he didn't find anything. As such, Zhao Fu could only return to the 8th Alliance. Dongfang Yeye smiled as she looked at Zhao Fu. "How is it? Can I?" Zhao Fu said somewhat dispiritedly. "I didn't think it would be so difficult. There's also a layer of sealing power, so I can't sense where the crack is at all." Chapter 2995. Book 1, Chapter 435. Battle Formation. Dongfang Yeye smiled as she said, "I told you how difficult it is. What do you plan to do?" Zhao Fu replied, "Don't have any ideas." Dongfang Yeye said, "Even though it's quite difficult, I'll still try and see if I can obtain the medallions of the 11 Alliance Masters. If we have their medallions, we can directly enter from a main entrance." Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Yeye and did not know what to say, so he sincerely said, "Thank you." Dongfang Ye's face became slightly red as she said, "No need to thank me. You're my man." Zhao Fu gave a slight smile. Dongfang Ye left the 8th Alliance and went to another alliance. The 10th Alliance's Alliance Master was a beautiful and sweet-tempered woman called Dongfang Yueshio, and she had the best relationship with Dongfang Ye. Looking at Dongfang Yueshio said in surprise, "I haven't seen you in a few days. How come you've become so beautiful?" Dongfang Ye smiled as she said, Some things happened, so I came to find you for something." Dongfang Yueshio smiled as she asked, "What is it? I'm quite curious about how you became so beautiful. I remember you saying that it's innate and that it's hard to become beautiful." Dongfang Yueshio said with a red face, "I've fallen in love with a man recently, and it was with his help that I became so beautiful." Dongfang Yueshio asked curiously, "What man?" Dongfang Ye gave a simple explanation of Zhao Fu. Dongfang Yueshio said seriously, "His identity is quite suspicious. Are you sure he's not an evil celestial?" Dongfang Ye nodded. "He doesn't have that evil celestial power, and it's a power that he researched to counter evil celestials. What's important is that I don't feel any hatred towards the Eastern Alliance. He came to the Eastern Alliance to find that bronze shard." Dongfang Yueshio looked quite surprised. "Bronze shard?" Dongfang Yueshio asked, "What is it?" Dongfang Yueshio thought for a moment before saying, "It's nothing. It's just that the news about the bronze shard is quite sensitive." Dongfang Yueshio asked curiously, "What?" Dongfang Yueshio said with a smile, "Isn't there a rumor that the Child of Origin is collecting a bronze fragment? That bronze fragment might be a fragment of an origin weapon." Dongfang Ye thought for a moment before saying, "He also mentioned that the bronze shard belonged to his ancestor. I don't know what kind of shard the bronze shard I gave him was, but it was probably of a very high grade. I didn't pay much attention to it at the time. Also, he said that he came from a mysterious family and that he couldn't let others know his identity. He was also worried that his family would cause trouble for me. I was wondering why, as the leader of the Eastern Alliance, I would be afraid of others causing trouble for me. Who can threaten me? But because my mind wasn't on this, I didn't think too much about it. Now that I think about it, his identity is very similar to the legendary Son of Origin." Dongfang Shiyue chuckled and said, "I don't think so. I think that person is the legendary Son of Origin. Otherwise, he wouldn't have these abilities." Dongfang Ye looked at Dongfang Shiyue and said, "Really?" Dongfang Shiyue said with a smile, "Go back and ask him." Dongfang Ye nodded and was about to turn around and leave. Dongfang Shiyue chuckled and said, "Wait, didn't you come to me for something? What is it?" Dongfang Ye reacted and said, "I came to you for something. I received news that there's a bronze shard in the evil, immortal, chaotic world. I came to get your pass." Dongfang Shiyue chuckled and said, "So it's about that." No problem. I can give it to you, but I also want to see the son of origin and confirm his identity. Dongfang Ye smiled and said, "Thank you." The two of them went to the 8th Alliance together. Before Zhao Fu knew what had happened, he saw Dongfang Ye bring back a beautiful woman. Zhao Fu bowed and said, "Greetings, Alliance Master." Dongfang Xiuyue chuckled and said, "You're welcome. I know about you and Ye, and I came to confirm something." Zhao Fu asked curiously, "What is it?" Dongfang Xiuyue looked at Dongfang Ye and said with a smile, "It's better for Ye to ask about this." Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Ye. Dongfang Ye also looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Are you the rumored son of origin?" Zhao Fu felt quite startled. He had not expected that his identity would be exposed. After thinking for a moment, he nodded. Dongfang Xiuyue said with a happy smile, "No one would have thought that the son of origin would be in our Eastern Alliance. This news will definitely cause a huge commotion." Dongfang Ye also smiled. Zhao Fu looked at Dongfang Ye and said apologetically, "I'm sorry. I hid it from you for so long." Dongfang Ye smiled and said, "It's all right. I know that the origin family has rules. Now that I know your true identity, I feel more at ease." Dongfang Xiuyue looked at Zhao Fu and suddenly smiled as she said, If we have the son of origin, we won't have to worry too much about the evil immortal. Even though the evil immortal is terrifying and evil, I don't believe that the son of origin can't suppress him." Dongfang Ye nodded and said, "I believe that with your power, you should be able to resist the evil immortal. I wonder if you're willing to help our Eastern Alliance solve this problem?" Zhao Fu fell silent and did not know how to reply. He was the son of origin and the evil immortal successor. He did not know what would happen next, so he did not want to do something that he could not do. Dongfang Ye looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "What is it? You don't want to help our Eastern Alliance?" Zhao Fu shook his head. "No, I don't know what will happen next. I'm afraid that I won't be able to help your Eastern Alliance." Dongfang Xiuyue smiled and said, "You don't have to worry at all. If you can't even help us with your son of origin, it means that our Eastern Alliance has reached its end. Resistance will be useless, and we won't blame you." Dongfang Ye nodded. "If that really happens, we'll resign ourselves to fate." Zhao Fu let out a breath and said, "All right, I'll do my best to help your Eastern Alliance." Dongfang Ye smiled and said, "It was very difficult to enter the evil immortal chaos world. However, with your identity as the son of origin, it should be relatively easy. As long as I tell the other Alliance Masters about this, I don't think they will refuse to let you enter the evil immortal chaos world." Dongfang Xiuyue smiled and said, "They aren't stupid. How could they refuse to be on good terms with the son of origin and receive help from the son of origin?" Zhao Fu nodded. Dongfang Ye smiled and said, "Then let's tell the other Alliance Masters immediately. I think they will be very happy to know about this. The entire Eastern Alliance is having a headache because of the evil immortal." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.